Good morning, everyone. We're going to get started. Welcome to our business planning workshop. Give yourself a hand for being here this morning. You might want to grab a seat, coffee. If you cannot find a seat, those of you standing in the back, we're adding chairs over here, and we'll put you over here. So if you have an empty seat next to you that is someone's not in the restroom or whatever, and there truly is an empty seat that you don't need, raise your hand. Someone will come up next to you. Do we see any hands raised? One seat back there, empty seat back there. We have one empty seat here, and then empty seats over here. Yes, yes. Okay, empty seat over there. So raise your hand high if you have an empty seat next to you that nobody needs, because we have a packed house. So great job, man. I love the energy in this room. It's going to be a good day. Okay, so we have people out in the lobby. And here's how we're going to get them in. You guys ready? On the count of three, we're gonna cheer like crazy. Like I said, something unbelievable. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Woo! That'll get them. Yep, they always come running in like, oh, it started. Okay, so if I could ask everyone to take your side conversations and bring it to a calm, we're going to ask you to put your phone on airplane mode. Now, some of you right now are like, I can't do that. That's why you need this. The fact that you can't disappear for about an hour and 40 minutes. Lunch is at noon. Lunch will be served to everybody. And you're going to get a business planning workbook that you'll leave here with that filled out. You have a plan of attack. I also, before I introduce Shon, I want to introduce one of our sponsors here, United Property Inspections. And I have Terry Popingo in the back there. Terry, raise your hand in the back. Give Terry a hand, one of our sponsors of today's event. If you go see her, she has a special offer for you on a home inspection, i.e. a great deal. So make sure you go see her. She'll tell you about that at some point today. Well, with that said, let's get this party started. Some of you who drove in more than an hour to be here, stand up. Over an hour, stand up. Let's give them a hand for an hour. Hold on, stay standing, stay standing. Who drove over 2 hours? Stay standing over 2 hours. Over 3 hours. 3 hours. Look, hold on, stand up, 3 hours. Wow. Anybody over 4 hours? 4 hours? Where'd you come from? Canada, give them a hand, that's a long ways. Good job. Go Canada. Well, we love Canadians here. They're our brothers and sisters to the north. Okay, so with that said, welcome. I hope you put your seatbelts on. I hope you buckle up. Today, you're going to go from a wandering generality, as I'm fond of saying, to a meaningful specific. You're going to leave here today with a game plan. You're going to know exactly how you're going to acquire buyers, if that's your goal. Or maybe you're one of these people like I've done with buyers. I spent 5-10 years with buyers. I'm going to become a listing agent. And you're going to have a plan for how many listings you're going to get. What are the lead sources you're going to use to get those listings? You're going to have an action plan, and you're going to go out and implement and kill it. So most people don't even think about this till about December 31st. So you really want to start in November, make all your preparations, and hit the ground with momentum January 1st. Sound good, everyone? So it's my honor and privilege to introduce to you Shon Kokoszka, Icon Coaching. He absolutely is one of the most sought-after business coaches in America. If you coach with Shon, it's $2,500 a month for him just to talk to you. He's a big, big deal. He's from Austin, Texas. Help me welcome Shon Kokoszka. Welcome, Shon. Have a great day today.
Brent, my man. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Oh, count on that. He said have fun. You can count on that. We're all going to have fun, right? Yeah. In fact, let's start off real quick. Brent, just freeze right there for me. Just stop. Good job. Everybody stand up with me. Come on. And Brent, I want you to lead them through this quick exercise, okay? Okay. Everybody put your hands up as high as you can. All right. Now bend it to your right. Oh, there you go. Bend it to your left. All right. Now raise them as high as you can again. I want you to face toward Brent Gove and bend forward just like this.
I like this exercise.
For some of us, that's going to be the most exercise we get all day. Go ahead and have your seat, right? Okay, so today, guys, I want to talk to you a lot about this word up here on the screen? Let's all say it together. Count of three. 1, 2, 3. Fantastic. Now, let's agree. Well, first off, turn to the person next to you. Just do me a favor. Turn to the person next to you. I want you to share your definition of this word. What does it mean to you? Go ahead. Do it right now. All right. Hey, when you hear my voice, clap once. Hear my voice, clap 3 times. All right, great job. I'm going to hear from a couple of you real quick. What is your definition of this word, success? Just shout it out. Freedom. I love that word. Freedom. Fantastic. What else? Peace of mind. Absolutely. What else? Happiness. I love it. Love it. Now, money. You're my favorite person right now, by the way. All right, okay. Let's agree that if you had the time, you took the time, you asked 1,000 different people, what is your definition of this word? You'd probably end up with around 1,000 different definitions. I mean, certainly some similarities, there's no doubt about that, yet probably around 1,000 different definitions, yes? So the word is somewhat elusive. How can you be successful? See, I went to Webster's dictionary. I just looked up the word. It's really quite simple. Success is getting what you want. Getting what you want. Not what somebody else wants or thinks maybe you should want. It's getting what you want. So guys, instinctively, inherently, you recognize that in order to be successful, you've got to know something, right? What is that? You got to know what? What you want. Yet sadly, I see a lot of people, you know what they do? They take an average approach to identifying what they want, and even worse, an average approach on how they're going to get it. Guys, that's not today. That's not this workshop. By the way, you're going to be put into exercise. You're going to be writing all day long. You're going to leave here today with a rock-solid business plan that gives you massive clarity as you go on into 2020 and you're going to crush it. Now, Brent's exactly right. If you don't have your business plan done yet, we're already behind because what we do today in Business Gang, it doesn't show up tomorrow, does it? Generally shows up about 60, 90 days later. So the bottom line is, if you're not satisfied with where you're at right now, I want you to think, what was I doing 60 days ago? What was I doing 90 days ago? Or if you're really satisfied with where you're at right now, think, what did I do 60 days ago, 90 days ago? Because what I found, a lot of people, they find something that works and they get bored. How many of you guys have ever found yourself guilty of that? Show me your hands. They get bored. They stop doing it, gang. It's the masters of the monotonous that really get on in this game. Now, I had the pleasure of writing all the training curriculum behind the book, The One Thing, which is a powerful book by Gary Keller, Jay Papasan. How many of you guys read that book? So powerful. It's all about self-management. Now, in the book, Gary and Jay outlined this 3 circles. You see it right there in your workbook. On page 1, go ahead and fill in those circles. The top circle is no. See, that circle represents everything you'll ever know. The lower right represents everything you'll ever do, and the lower left is everything you'll ever have. Now do me a favor and draw a triangle right to kind of the center points of those circles. So the tip of the triangle goes to the center point of that circle, and I want you to recognize that that sliver of the pie, representing everything you'll ever know, everything you'll ever do, everything you'll ever have. By the way, you'll never know it all. How many of you guys feel that the more you know, sometimes the less you know? Anyone? 100%. See, it's those that have the ability to be a sponge, to be teachable, to be coachable, that I think really get on in this game. Now, in the center of that triangle, just write 2 words for me. My choices. See, your choices will tell you everything you'll ever know, everything you'll ever do, everything you'll ever have. By the way, you'll never do it all. Have you ever gone on vacation with somebody who wants to do it all? I just described my mother, yes. 5 in the morning till 10 at night, and you're go, 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 right? We got to do it all. You're never going to do it all. You're never going to have it all. By the way, where would you put it? Even if you're the richest person on the face of the planet, gang, you'll never have it all. It's all based in our choices. So my question is, what do you want? I want you to turn to the next page of your workbook. Like I said, you're going to be writing a lot today. You see at the top, it says personal, family. I want you to think about personal accomplishments for your family. And I want you to start writing right now as fast as you can everything you'll ever want as it relates to personal accomplishments, family accomplishments, things like that. Just start writing. Don't let your pen stop for at least 1 minute. Just write as fast as you can. Do not let that pen stop. Think about some of the personal accomplishments you'd like to achieve within your lifetime. Maybe you want to get your pilot's license. You want to get your scuba diving certification. Maybe you want to go climb a mountain. What are the things you'd like to accomplish? Don't let those pens stop. Just keep writing as fast as you possibly can. By the way, if you think you're done, go deeper. What else do you want? It's your life. You hold the steering wheel of your life. I want you to take ownership of that. Take responsibility for that. It's a blank canvas, and you can create the life you've always dreamed of. By the way, if you think you're done, you're not even close. Go deeper. What do you want for your parents? What do you want for your siblings? What do you want for your children? Your nieces, nephews, grandchildren? Keep writing as fast as you possibly can. Come on, don't let those pens stop. Keep going. By the way, your mind does not have the ability to conceive something that it doesn't already possess the ability to achieve. Just write it down. Don't second guess yourself. Don't let that inner voice talk you out of anything right now. Just write it down. Keep going. 15 more seconds. Come up with 2 more things. Dig deep. Pull it out of your mind. Pull it out of your heart. Write it down. All right, finish that last thought. Then I want you to turn to the person next to you. Share with them what you wrote down. What are the things you'd like to accomplish personally, for your family, with your family? All right, gang. When you hear my voice, clap once. Hear my voice, clap twice. Okay. Hey, quick question. Let me just ask, how many of you learned maybe a little something about yourself just now? Anyone? The things maybe you want to accomplish within your lifetime. It's a blank canvas. Guys, you can paint whatever picture you want. It's exciting. And I think you're in an industry that'll help you accomplish whatever you desire. Would you all agree? Yes. Undoubtedly. All right, turn to the person next to you real quick. Just look at them. And here's what I want you to say. I give you permission to be completely and totally materialistic right now. All right? So let's turn to the next page of your workbook, page number 3. Once again, I want you to think about everything that you want, the things that you could possess that are going to make you really, really happy, okay? Let's be completely materialistic just for a moment. I want you to start writing as fast as you possibly can. Do not let your pens stop. Everything that you want to purchase. I mean, seriously, just the sky's the limit, guys. Just dream, have fun. Once again, your mind does not have the ability to conceive something that it doesn't already have the ability to achieve. So just, if it pops in your head, write it down. Don't talk yourself out of it. Just write it down. Fast as you can. Just keep those pens moving. Fast as you can. All the material possessions. And yes, you can buy things for other people too. You spell my name S-H-O-N. Just keep those pens moving. Everything you want to buy. I don't care how small it is. I don't care how big it is. Yet the bigger you think, the bigger actions you start taking. The bigger relationships you begin forming. And most importantly, the bigger habits you start building in the process. Again, it's a blank canvas, guys. Keep those pens moving. Everything you want to buy. All right, don't let those pens stop. Keep going. 30 more seconds. Come up with 5 more things. 5 more things that you want. Again, I don't care how small it is. I don't care how big it is. Just write it down. Don't talk yourself out of writing it down. Dream big. It's your life. Today we're going to learn how to fund it, by the way. Sound good? Come on, 2 more things. Just write them down. Awesome. All right, do me a favor. Turn to the person on the other side of you, opposite the last person you spoke with. I want you to share with that person all the things you want. All right, gang. Count to 3. Everybody say shh. 1, 2, 3. Shh. Fantastic. All right. Way to go, everybody. Okay. Now let's figure out how are we going to fund all of these things that you've written down. And I want you to outline on page number 4 the financial achievements. I want you to think about how much money do you want to make per month, how much per quarter, how much per year, how much in your lifetime. What are some of the financial goals that you've got for yourself, for your family, for your loved ones? I want you to think about your 401k. I want you to think about your stock portfolio. I want you to think about your real estate investment portfolio. I want you to think about all of those things and begin writing as fast as you can. What would you like to accomplish financially within your life? How much mailbox money or how much wake up money, meaning all you have to do to make it is wake up, how much of that do you want? It just shows up repeatedly every single month, passively, residually. Just write it down. How much do you want in your savings account? How much do you want to give away to charity or to friends, family members? What does that look like? I want you to think about tithing. I want you to think about everything you can think about related to money and write it down. Again, don't second guess yourself. Do not talk yourself out of writing that figure down. Just write it down. Your mind cannot conceive something that it doesn't already have the ability to achieve. Just write it down. How much money do you want to make? How do you want to make it? Write it down. Keep those pens moving. Come on. Go deeper. Pull 2 more things out of yourself right now. Just do it. Keep those pens moving. Don't let it stop. All right, now for the uncomfortable part of this, right? Turn to your neighbor and share with them what you just wrote down. Go for it. All right, gang. Count of three, everybody say shh. 1, 2, 3. Shh. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, so here's what we're going to be focused on today. We're going to build a plan that's going to allow you to accomplish anything you want in your life. See, I believe all goals, well, they're accomplishable. You just need the right plan. Would you all agree with that? All right, turn to the person next to you. Just give them a high five. Say, let's do it. Now, yeah, those of you who have seen me on this stage before, you've been through this exercise, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. So I just want to, the guy who gave me my very first stage when I was 23 years old, and man, I was terrible back. I mean, it was awful. You think I'm bad now? It was awful back then. Oh, painful, painful. Like the people in the audience are like, oh my God, please help him. Please help him. Please help him. Please help him. And then after about 5 minutes, they're like, oh God, please help me. Please help me. So the guy who gave me my first stage, his name was Howard Brinton. Many of you who have been in the business longer than 20 years might remember him. He was a dynamic speaker. Brilliant man. Well, I'm teaching at a large seminar in Nashville, Kentucky. 4,000 realtors in the audience. Now, Howard's the last one to present, right? And he jumps down off the stage. Here, let's do this real quick. Sir, could you stand up with us? Tell us, what's your name?
Patrick.
Patrick. Everybody say, hi, Patrick. Turn around and take a look at these people. Here, stand right next to me. Can you feel that? How's it feel?
Feels like your hand's on my back.
Is it a little uncomfortable?
Yeah.
Is it a little uncomfortable?
Right.
Yeah? Can we make him a little more uncomfortable? See, I think that success really stems from the ability to become comfortable being uncomfortable, right? A little uncomfortable?
Right.
Let's make it a little more uncomfortable. Give me a hug, buddy. Come here. Thanks, bud. How was that?
That felt good.
All right, let's do it again. Now is it getting uncomfortable?
Yeah.
All right, Patrick, take a seat, buddy. Thank you so much. Now, Howard did this to demonstrate that you've got to develop your ability to get comfortable being uncomfortable, right? Well, he jumps off this stage in Nashville. Yeah, Nashville. And he runs down the audience, turns to the first guy he sees. He says, you, stand up, give me a hug. The guy looks up at him and he says, uh-uh. Now talk to me. Why do you think the guy said no? What do you think? Uncomfortable, no doubt. Why else? What would other people think of me? See, it's our need to look good and be right that either causes us to do things or causes us not to do things, yeah? Why else do you think he would say no? Maybe he smelled, right? Forgot his deodorant that day. That's entirely possible, right? Well, let me tell you what happened. After Howard's done presenting, and he's up on stage, and all the people come, they crowd around the stage. Well, here comes this guy that said no. And he works his way through the crowd, and he says, Howard, I'm really sorry that I created that really uncomfortable moment there. So let me tell you what happened. I was in a golf tournament yesterday, and a ball on the fly hit me in the back, and it cracked 2 of my ribs. So the lesson, get out of judgment, get into curiosity. Now here's what I want to do. I want you all to get a little uncomfortable. Who's with me? Willing to get a little uncomfortable, yeah? Okay, I want you to stand up with me. Come on. Now I want you to go out and I want you to get 10 hugs right now. Just go for it. How you doing, brother? Good to see you, man. Thank you. Thank you.
Jawel.
How you doing, brother? Good. Thank you. My pleasure. Thank you. All right, King. Good job, man.
Thank you.
You're my thank you. Okay. All right, find your seats. Let's go, let's go. Find those seats. I love it. I love it. All right, find those seats. All right, how many of you got 10 hugs? Show me your hands. How many of you got more than 10 hugs? You know what that's called? It's called profit. I like that. I like that. All right, now, the lesson goes even deeper. I put you into this exercise. Get you to feel comfortable being uncomfortable. How many of you were a little uncomfortable? Be honest with that exercise. And you can always tell those that are really uncomfortable, they give the A-frame style hug, right? You know what I mean? Now, you can also tell those that are not uncomfortable at all. I mean, the hug lasts a little too long, doesn't it? So I put you guys in this exercise, and I start acting busy up here, right? I'm at my desk. I'm going through my papers, making sure I'm organized. Busy work. How many hugs do you think I got? Actually, you guys are really kind. I got 5 hugs. Really kind. Yeah, what's the lesson? What do you think? If you're at your desk, if you're tied up with busy work, and you're not putting yourself out there, if you're not getting uncomfortable, how many deals are you going to do? You got to put yourself at risk, gang. Got to put yourself at risk. Many of you have seen this. It's from Simon Sinek. He's the author of The Power of Why, or Start with Why, excuse me. See, these 3 questions, all of us as leaders, we must approach these 3 questions every single day, especially when it comes to business planning. And yet, we might pull some people together and say, okay, what are we going to do, guys? Okay, how are we going to do it? And rarely do we get around to the why. In my studies of top performers in this industry, gang, they always start with the why. See, when I think about this phrase here. When the why is powerful enough, gang, the how it's going to show up. It just simply shows up. Here's a simple example. Let's just say that we had a board, okay? This board goes from this end of the room all the way over to this end of the room. It's about 5 times the width of a normal balance beam. It's thick enough to support your weight, and it's 6 inches up off the ground. Now I'm at this end, and you're clear over there at that end. And if I said to you, hey, if you could walk across this board without falling off either side, I'm going to give you $1,000. What would you say? Hell yeah. Now let's change circumstance. Take the same board, right? Let's put it from one 20-story building rooftop to another 20-story building rooftop. I'm on one building, and you're on the other. And I say, hey, it's 5 times the width of a normal balance beam. If you can walk across without falling off either side, I'm going to give you $1,000. What would you say? How many of you would do it?
I want more.
It's windy. It's raining. Bunch of lightning, right? You'd have to be a thrill seeker, just frankly out of your mind, to take that risk. Anything above 3 stories, if you slip, game over. Let's change circumstance. You're on one building rooftop, you're all alone. And on the rooftop of the other building is your 2-year-old toddler. Your niece, your nephew, your grandson, your granddaughter. And that building's on fire. There's smoke all around this little baby. How many of you wouldn't even give it a second thought you'd figure out how to get across that board? Gang, when the why is powerful enough, the how simply shows up. So it's not only knowing what you want, you got to know, why do you want it? See, it's the why that burns with white heat intensity. It's the why that's going to be the fuel in the tank to get you across the finish line. And you make it burn hot enough, you're not only going to get across the finish line, you're going to get there first. Today, we're going to do deep exploration into your why. When I think about this, I think of Martin Luther King Jr. I mean, all you had to do was hear the I have a dream speech, and you knew the why when he was done. By the way, he didn't pull the people together. He didn't say, hey, guys, here's what we're going to do. And guess what? Here's how we're going to do it. All he had to do was cast his vision, cast his why. And it just so happened to align with a lot of other people's why. Created a movement like no other. I also think of the Cola Wars, right? 1971. That's when that commercial aired. See, let's go, by the way, this battle has been going on for over 100 years. Let's pick it up in the 50s, okay? Coca-Cola on top of the world, right? Pepsi in a very distant second place. Pepsi and their marketing team, they get together and they say, what is it that the people want? So you think about the baby boomers, right? Baby boomers are getting a little bit older. They're getting into that teenage years. And Pepsi launches their ad campaign, the choice of a new generation. Pepsi. They springboard into the first position. Coke had never experienced second place before. So they launched this ad campaign in 1971. Why? Because they started with why. You might remember the song, I'd like to buy the world a Coke, in perfect harmony. See, what was happening then is total outrage, right? Teenagers growing their hair out long. What they craved was peace, and Coke said, if that's what they want, let's give it to them. They started with why. They started with why would somebody buy Coca-Cola instead of Pepsi? So the ball's back in Pepsi's court, right? 1984, MTV generation, right? And the height of his career, the hired Michael Jackson. You remember the commercial? Certainly didn't hurt that they got about $1 billion worth of advertising when his hair caught on fire, right? And yet they changed the slogan just a little bit, the choice of a new, younger generation, Pepsi. They started with why. Back in Coca-Cola's court, they're in second place again. And what do? They started with the what. They started with the how. Forget the why. What'd they do? Who remembers? New Coke. And everybody hated it. They changed the formula. Even though it won blind taste tests across the board on every continent in the world, everybody hated it. And why? Because they didn't start with why. They started with the what. They started with the how rather than, they got away from the hearts of individuals. Now we're going to go through a fun exercise that's going to allow you to identify your why. And I'm going to ask that you guys trust me. I'm going to ask that you, seriously, put both feet flat on the floor. I want you to sit back in your chair, get really comfortable, okay? By the way, how many of you guys are open to getting closer to your why right now? Show me your hands. See, it's the why. When the why is powerful enough, the how is going to show up. So again, both feet flat on the floor. I'm just going to ask that you take a nice deep breath in through your nose. Exhale completely through your mouth. And as you do that, I want you to close your eyes. Again, nice deep breath in through your nose. Exhale completely through your mouth. The next time as you inhale through your nose, I want you to imagine the air around you is your favorite color. It's giving you energy. It's supporting you. And I want you to imagine that you're walking down an old dirt road. There's trees on either side of this road. They're very tall, and they've created a canopy of branches up above your head. You can see the sunlight kind of glimmering through the leaves. It's autumn. They're changing color. You can hear and feel the leaves crackling beneath your feet. As you look down, you see them dance as you kick them along. Get a nice deep breath in through your nose. Exhale completely through your mouth. You can hear the birds chirping. You can feel the sun now on your back. It gives you warmth, gives you energy. Now this dirt road, you come up on a hill and you start going up the hill. You would think it would be more difficult, yet surprisingly, it's very easy. You're full of energy. At the same time, you're totally relaxed. This hill becomes a mountain. And you begin going up the mountain from switchback to switchback. Hairpin turn to hairpin turn. The roads now become a trail. You stop for a moment, you look at the landscape beneath you and out to the horizon. And you agree with yourself that this is the most beautiful place you've ever seen in your life. You take a mental image of that. And you turn around and you continue up this trail in your quest to reach the top of this mountain. And as you're getting closer, You recognize that somebody is descending from the mountaintop. They're walking towards you. And as they get closer still, you recognize that this is a much older person than you are. And as they get closer, you realize they're the same gender you are. And as they get close enough to you for you to engage them in conversation, you start the conversation politely, as you always would. And the moment this person responds, you realize that you're talking to yourself 30 years later. Now this 30 years older, wiser self is going to share with you all of your personal accomplishments, your financial achievements. They're going to share with you your why, your purpose. I'm going to ask that you engage in this conversation with an open mind, with an open heart. This is a very positive conversation, not allowed to go to the negative. And just soak in the wisdom from your future, wiser self. As you begin to wrap up this conversation, I want you to take a moment and I want you to thank your elder, wiser self for imparting their wisdom upon you, allowing you to get closer to your why. And I want you to recognize that the answer you're searching for is always within you. You can have this conversation anytime you'd like. And when you're ready, go ahead and open your eyes. And at the bottom portion of page 5, I just want you to write down everything you can remember from that conversation. All right, gang, if you're comfortable, I want you to turn to the person next to you. Just share with them a couple of things that your future elder, wiser self shared with you. All right, gang. If you heard my voice, clap once. Heard my voice, clap 3 times. All right. Good stuff. See, I think those of you who took that exercise seriously, let me just ask, are you a little bit closer to understanding your why right now? Fantastic. I love it. Love the quote from Mark Twain. Go ahead and fill in the blanks in your workbook. 2 most important days of your life is the day that you're born and the day you find out why. Guys, I want to share and I don't always do this yet, I'd like to maybe be a little bit transparent. Would that be okay with you guys? I got into real estate when I was 20 years old. I was probably one of the first buyer's agents on the face of the planet. I worked for my mom. And so within about 18 months, I'd kind of systemized that operation. I flew out to California here, and I met with a guy named Michael Gerber. Anybody remember that name? Yeah? Which book did he write? The E-Myth. Changed my life. Changed the way I approached business. It's called the E-Myth. The E stands for entrepreneur. So it's the myth of the entrepreneur. See, Michael Gerber is a systems expert. I came back with my certification after giving him $10,000 of my hard-earned commissions, and I systemized everything within our office. Diana Kokoszka and I wrote 21 systems manuals. We systemized an entire real estate team, the whole development of that, and we were able to help people with those systems, increase their production, their profit, and their leverage. Now, I was a buyer's agent for about 10 years, closing over 100 buyer sides per year because of the systems that were in place. Guys, a system to me is nothing more and nothing less than a standardized process that produces a consistent and predictable result. You do it the same way each and every time. You modify it only for the natural behavioral tendencies of your prospect, and you get that consistency in your business. How many of you guys feel that with some systems in place, rock solid systems, that you would be able to improve your production? Show me your hands. Absolutely. So we systemized the entire team. We built it to the point that Diana and I didn't need to be there anymore. In fact, I personally was more of a distraction to the team than anything else. So I was out speaking, I was presenting, thanks to Howard, thanks to National Association of Realtors and some of the large companies that we all are familiar with, right? And I was on the road for about 200 days per year presenting all over the place, just having a blast doing it. Then in 1999, we had our first child, and I said, I don't want to be on the road like that anymore. I want to be here to raise this little baby. And I thought, well, what do I know? I'm not the smartest guy in the world, that's for sure. Definitely not the smartest guy in this room. The only thing I know is real estate. So I decided, I'm going to start a land development company. Why not? It seems like a natural line extension, right? A mortgage company, a title company, a home building company. Here's the idea, guys. 6 income streams on one transaction. I represented the development company, bought the land, got a huge commission, right? Pull in infrastructure, curb, gutter, water, sewer, sell the lots to my building company, peel off some profit there. Building company builds the home, we collect a supervision fee that exceeded our expenses, pulled more profit there. Whether it was pre-sold or not, the real estate team, well, we listed that property, double-ended most of the time. Everything we did was above $1 million, so the cycle started again for the real estate company, the mortgage company, the title company. Guys, 6 income streams, 1 transaction. And guess what? It worked. It worked. We crushed it. At one point, we had over 60% market share of any home built above $1 million in Denver, Colorado, in the suburbs. I had 16 land developments going. I was in debt to the construction lenders, about $132 million. And then 2008. Ouch, right? Painful. I lost everything. Everything. Guys, it was a deep, dark, depressing place. Literally adding up my life insurance policy saying, would my family be okay? Painful. Yet in those moments of pain, you have an opportunity, don't you? Sideways or straight up. You know, Gary Keller, who I worked with for 6 years, he said like this, he said, one day you're just hopping along, and you hop into a hole that's about 10 feet deep. What do? You learn how to hop higher. And then once you hop out of that hole, you just keep jumping that high. You follow me? See, in that depression, I found the why. And it's all of you. It's the ability to pour into each and every one of you. That's my why. Frankly, it's what saved me. So, should we move on? Thanks. See, a lot of people, they think success, well, it looks just like that, right? I mean, it's straight out of a cannon. Straight up, man, you're on a rocket ship. Success. Guys, anybody who's achieved extraordinary success in their life, they tell you it doesn't look like this, it looks like that. Guys, success is a mess. I'll tell you, here's the secret. Every single person that I've ever coached or been coached by, every company that I've engaged with and consulted for, guys, they just learned how to fail faster than anybody else. And in so doing, guess what? They find what works faster than anybody else. And when they find what works, what they do is they stay committed to it. They scale it. They apply additional leverage, additional resources, people, money, whatever it takes. They scale it out. Yet most of us, if we're honest with ourselves, we find something that works and we get bored. We get sick of it. I want to do this instead. See, we hit this natural ceiling of achievement. We go through 3 different phases. First, it's just boredom and disappointment. Then ultimately, it's resignation. And then third, it's on to greener pastures. There's a different way of doing it, even though you found what works. So, I want to share with you the 9 characteristics of top performers in our industry. Guys, every single month, I have the pleasure of interviewing one person, a rock star, what I call an icon of our industry. In fact, one of our icons is right here in this room with us today, Janki Patel. Could you stand up for us, please? And her husband, Hiren, is here with us as well. Come on, Hiren, stand up. Way to go. All right, so every single month I have an opportunity to interview somebody who's just crushing it. Now, Janki and Hiren, they're down in the Fremont area in the valley, right? And they're killing it. They've got 2 kids that have joined their team as well, and they're looking to expand their influence, expand their talent. So Janki represents these. And every single icon that I've interviewed, and I do it once per month, guys, and it's a free webinar. I encourage you to dive into that thing because we just get them to open the Komodo saying, here's what I do, here's how I do it. By the way, don't do this. They're going to save you a lot of heartburn, and they're going to share with you a lot of ideas to help improve your business. The first thing, go ahead and fill in the blanks with me. It's on page 6. They know what they want. Remember, the definition of success is getting what you want. Not what somebody else wants or thinks maybe you should want. They know what they want. Second, they know why they want it. They make that why burn with white heat intensity. It gets them out of bed every single morning, early. By the way, when I was managing our sales team, I'll tell you one thing I found true as the day is long. The agents that showed up first in the morning, those that were the earliest risers, were always, without exception, the highest producers on the team. Always. The why gets you out of bed early. Third, they've developed their ability to determine exactly what their prospects want. They understand the right questions. They know how to ask the questions, why to ask the questions. They know the answers that they're looking for. And once they determine what their prospects want, well, then they've developed the models, the systems, technology, and people to fulfill the prospect's needs quickly, effectively. Point number 5, they know that there's no such thing as failure. As I said, they fail faster than anyone else. It's only learning experiences. See, in this type of a mindset, you guys, failure simply doesn't exist. See, I think the only failure is to not participate, to just quit. You follow me? That's the only failure in my mind. Point number 6, they're willing to stretch. They set goals, they set expectations that are beyond what it is they think they're currently capable of. And again, the bigger we think, the bigger actions we take, the bigger relationships we form, and the bigger habits we begin to possess. Point number 7, they make a commitment. First to themselves, and then to everybody around them, which is part of the reason why I asked you guys to share what you wrote down as it related to your personal accomplishments, your material possessions, as well as your financial achievements. Point number 8, they're willing to do whatever it takes. And yes, I know whatever's one word. That's fine. Whatever. They're willing to do wit. Point number 9 of the 9 characteristics of a top performer, guys, they have a plan and they're coachable. They have a plan and they're coachable. John Key and I have coached together for the last 3 years, you guys. And her business is totally transformed. She's on autopilot, just crushing it month after month, 100,000 plus, right? Killing it. By the way, point number 10 on the 9 characteristics of a top performer. They always go the extra mile. They give more than what you might have expected. In every situation they possibly can. They go over and beyond for their clients. Now, when I say go over and beyond, I'm not saying invest more time. I'm saying build the systems that will allow the client to feel that wow factor, to create the bird dogs, the raving fans, the people that go out and scare up and drum up business for you. So I have 4 powerful questions. Turn to page 7 with me. Here we go. Do you know what you want? Do you know what you want? I trust after the exercise earlier today, you're a little bit closer to knowing exactly what you want. Second, do you know why you want it? Just write one sentence right there for me. Why do you want it? Just do it real quick. Write one sentence. Why do you want it? By the way, why are you here? Let's get clarity on that question right now. Why are you here? Let's bring intentionality to your investment of time. Go ahead and write down what you choose to gain. So why are you here? And then the 4th question, what do you expect to gain by the end of the presentation? What do you expect to gain? I've already told you you're going to walk out of here with a rock-solid business plan, right? What else do you expect to gain? Then I have a bonus question for you. It came to me at 1 o'clock this morning, so I thought I'd throw it in here. What thoughts do you need to change for you to accomplish the things you desire? See, everything starts with our thinking, right? Now, our thinking is based on our programming. And just like a computer, our mind can't run a program unless it's been installed. So it's past experiences, it's input and guidance from others. Even if it was limiting, like, oh, I wouldn't do that if I were you. Oh, I did that once before and I lost a lot of money. Don't do it. Oh, I heard about that company. Don't join. No, that's a bad company. I've heard they're terrible. See, the programming impacts our thoughts, does it not? Our programming impacts the way that we think, and then, of course, the way that we think impacts how we feel. Then our feelings, of course, lead to our actions. If you don't believe me, have you ever caught yourself saying something like this? I don't feel like doing that today. See, our feelings lead to our actions. Our actions produce a result. Positive or negative, of course, which comes back to programming your thoughts, your feelings, your actions, and the results. And it's just this cyclical. It can be positive, and it can be really negative as well, if we allow it to be. Yet, at the same time, where our attention goes, our energy is going to flow, right? It's been proven scientifically that what we focus on expands. Like energy attracts like energy. So if you're negative, guess what? You're just attracting more negativity to you. If you're positive, of course, you're going to receive abundantly more things to be positive about, right? All right, so I want to walk you through this model toward mastery. Go ahead and turn to page 8 with me. So at the base of this model toward mastery, this pyramid, you can see that word foundation. To me, your foundation, well, that's your state of being. It's how you show up to the world. It's how you show up to your clients, your prospects, your friends, your family. And there's 4 things that impact our state of being, in my humble opinion. First, it's our knowledge. Second, our skills. In essence, knowing how to do it, knowing how to say it, right? Knowing how to do it, how to say it. And of course, when we can put those 2 things together, then it has a positive impact on our mindset, which is category number 3, right? And I believe 95% of any success in business is mindset. And then, of course, finally, fourth is habits. Now, from my perspective, I believe habits is the most important thing. See, there's a really smart guy. His name was F.M. Alexander. He said this. He said, people do not decide their future. They decide their habits. And their habits decide their future. Yet, sadly, a lot of people, they form habit without intention. Something happens, right? They have a reaction, and they get a result. And by the time we're 20 years old, you guys, our mind has had so many exposures, we're on autopilot. So the next time that something happens, we have the same reaction. And guess what? We get the same what? Yeah, so that reaction, we brought that reaction to the point of automaticity, and we didn't even know about that. Now that result could be positive, it could be negative, and I promise you one thing, it could be improved. Would you all agree with that? It's been said that the largest room in the world is the room for improvement. We can all be better. Is that true? And how we become better is we improve daily our knowledge, our skills, our mindset, and our habits. I want to digress. I want to share with you the greatest aha I ever had in my life. It literally changed the way I approached everything in life. I was fortunate. I was just 17 years old when I got this awakening. Now, my wife and I, she's here with me, by the way. She's not here in the room yet. Where is she? Honey, you here? Honey, I'm not home. I'm kidding. Okay, so we met in the 7th grade, okay, and started dating when we were 16 years old. We got married at 21. We have 3 beautiful kids. 27 years of marriage last September. I wish she was here. Thank you. I wish she was here because she deserves the applause. And ladies, you know what I mean, right? So nevertheless, we're 17 years old. We decided we're going to go see a movie, okay? And I agreed I would drive, and we invited her older sister. She's 4 years older, and her sister's new boyfriend. I'd never met this guy before. I agreed to drive, so I pull up to pick them up. I got to tell you, this dude comes out of the house, and this guy is built. I mean, that muscles on muscles, right? Biceps, literally the size of my thighs. Now, I'm 17 years old. I want to look like that guy. So I got to know him a little bit. I said, his name is Paul. I said, Paul, tell me, how often do you go to the gym? He said, every day. I said, every day? I said, how long's your workout? He said, well, at least 2 hours. I said, 2 hours every day? I said, Paul, how do you do that? I mean, I'm 17 years old. I have a hard time getting to the gym once, twice a week, let alone every day for 2 hours. And gang, this was the aha. He looked at me like I was crazy. And he said, it's just something I do. Do you get the point? He brought that action, that activity of going to the gym to the point of automaticity. It's a habit. This is who Paul is. This is what Paul does. And guess what? Paul gets to look the way Paul looks, right? How about you?
We don't want to talk about it.
We don't want to talk about it. I love it. So what is that action? That if you brought that activity to the point of automaticity, that you just showed up, it's part of your self-image, it's part of your personal paradigm. You show up to work, and guess what? I just do that every single day. What do you suppose that answer is? I'll tell you what, write it down in your workbook right now. What is that action that if you brought it to the point of automaticity, that your business could look the way you want it to look? Go ahead and write it down. All right, we're going to circle back to that also a little bit later. And I trust you identified an answer. We're going to go a little bit deeper later. Is that okay with you all? All right, fantastic. Okay, so I want to just keep going through this model toward mastery real quick. So foundation. We're plussing our foundation every single day. Or at least those that achieve extraordinary success plus it every day. See, I think back to what President Lincoln said so many years ago. He said, I don't think much of a person who isn't a better person today than they were yesterday. So guys, we're constantly in foundation. I'm proud of each and every one of you for showing up today because this is my intention. I want to plus that knowledge, that skill, that mindset, that habit. Because here's the point. Your production, your profit, frankly, it's going to grow to the extent that you personally grow. You cannot give to others what you don't have. You follow me? Second phase toward mastery is pipeline. Now, this is everything you do proactively and in a reactionary mode to earn business. This is your Facebook ad strategy, your strategy on Instagram, your open houses, your networking events, calling for sale by owners, expireds, cancels, withdrawals, doing circle prospecting, business-to-business prospecting, networking groups, everything that you do to fill that pipeline. Now, those of you with tenacity, and many of you are already here, you're going to break through from pipeline to momentum. Now, momentum is a really fun place to be, isn't it? It's where deals are coming in left and right. You're selling listing after listing. You're negotiating on behalf of buyers successfully. You're making money. It feels good, doesn't it? It feels really good. Now, sadly, though, a lot of people get to this phase of momentum and they get sucked down in the weeds. They don't have the systems. They don't have the technology. They don't have the people. And therefore, they hold the hands of the clients, right? They get sucked into it. What happens to the pipeline phase in their business? Dries up. Dries up. It just comes to a screeching halt. So ultimately, they get to this level of momentum, and they fall backward in the model, back down to pipeline. This is why January is a terrible month. You lead generate like crazy. You get a few things under contract, and guess what? February, man, it looks good. What happens in March? Oh, April, awesome. Good thing, I got to pay the IRS, right? May, oh, June. See, one of the things I love about real estate, it's a really calm business. No, you can go from the heights of glory to the deepest, darkest place of depression, all between 9 and 10 a.m. So this phase of momentum, once you get there, guys, here's the key. You got to shift from momentum and get into what I call leverage, and leverage is my favorite word. There's 4 categories to leverage, by the way, that I've discovered. That's leverage through models. I'm talking about your economic model, your budget model, your lead generation model, your lead conversion models, right? Your compensation models, if you choose to leverage through people, right? Leverage through systems, doing it the same way, consistently, to get that predictable result within your business. Leveraging through technology. It can be a blessing, it can be a curse, however you choose to look at that. Remember, what you focus on expands, yeah? And there are technologies that we leverage through to our clients because we only recommend the technologies that are giving them a massive return on investment. Guys, there's so many shiny objects, aren't they? So many shiny objects. And so many people want into your wallet at the end of the day. Okay, and then finally, leverage through people. I'll tell you one thing, if your production isn't where you want it to be, or where it could be, or where it should be, gang, you're just missing a key relationship. I mean, Don and I, we had a pleasure of having breakfast this morning, and thank you for that, Don. Great conversation. He said it's the power of one relationship. One relationship can change everything. And in all cases of extraordinary results, there's always one person. Look at Walt Disney. He wouldn't be Walt Disney without his brother Roy. Look at Steve Jobs, who he was, right? He wouldn't be Steve Jobs without Wozniak. There's always a key relationship, and if your business isn't where it could be or should be, you're just missing a relationship. See, it's also part of what I've termed the what, how, and who paradox. Okay? The combination of what you do, how you do it, and who you're doing it with, well, that'll get you to your current level of success. And the paradox comes in because that combination of what you're doing, how you're doing it, and who you're doing it with that got you here, it doesn't automatically transform into a better combination of what, how, and who that's going to get you to the next level of success. So guys, we're going to be studying today your business. We're going to be studying your what, how, and who. We're going to tweak it. We're going to engineer it to the point that you have absolute confidence in what it is that you're doing every day. How many of you have maybe felt a little unsure about the strategies, the tactics to generate leads? We're going to eliminate that today, and we're going to do it together. We're going to do it in a brainstorming and masterminding kind of session. By the way, mastermind, one of my favorite words as well. It's coined by Napoleon Hill so many years ago where he said, when two or more minds come together seeking a positive solution to a situation, challenge, or question, that a third mind is actually created. And he references that being the mastermind. So today we're going to create a mastermind together. So we're going to help each other. And then I think ultimately we reach this level of mastery. Now to me, that's a lifetime journey. How many of you believe the more I know, the less I know? Yeah? See, I look out in the audience and I see people, by the way, how many of you have been in the business longer than 25 years? Longer than 30 years, keep your hand up. 35 years. Wow. 35 years in this industry plus, and they're sitting right in this room with all of us. See, these are the people. These are the people that consistently grow, consistently stretch. They're constantly in that foundation. By the way, as we look at this model, we've got to look at it as it's not an or, it's an and. Meaning, we're in foundation and we're in pipeline. And we get to momentum. And we add leverage, meaning it's not a rung of the ladder that we leave behind. It's just in addition to, you guys with me? Those that consider it to be an or, they get to momentum and they say, I've arrived. And then next month is terrible. And then the next month is great, right? So, nevertheless, I have questions for you. Turn to page 8 if you haven't already. Let's answer these two questions. What phase are you currently in with your business? And then what are you willing to commit to right now to do this week to get even a baby step closer to the next phase of that model? Go ahead and answer those two questions. All right, let me hear it from one of you, real quick. What phase are you in? Just shout it out. Foundation, and what else? Pipeline, yeah. So, I mean, automatically, I think we're in pipeline if we're doing anything to generate business. Would you agree with that? Yeah, so foundation and pipeline. Let me just ask, what's the one thing you can do to get to momentum? Somebody who answered that. Habit. What habit? I love it. Daily prospecting, fantastic. How many conversations? 10? Okay, so 10 conversations. I promise you, just simply 10 conversations every single day where you're being purposeful about asking for referrals or asking for an appointment, right? That one action alone will get you to momentum, and it'll keep you there. 10 conversations. With mere words, guys, you have the opportunity to make over $1 million a year. Doesn't that sound cool? I know doctors that went to school for 8 years that don't make that kind of money. Who's in momentum right now? Show me your hands. Tell me one thing you can do to get to that position of leverage. Talk to me. Let go. I love it. I love it. Let go. How many of you guys are control freaks? Show me your hands. I love this joke. You guys like jokes? Yeah. Knock, knock. Control freak. This is the part where you say control freak who? Guys, in business, we don't have to be control freaks. What we need are controls. So when I think about that, I think of a gal named Susan Scott. She's the author of a book called Fierce Conversations. I hired her to speak at one of our events, and she came over to our home, and she's just a wonderful person. And she was talking to me about what we were building there at KW Maps Coaching. And I was the president of that organization for a good number of years, and she said to me, you need a decision tree. I said, Susan, what's a decision tree? So she said, picture this, Shon. Wide open field, right? And a huge tree right in the middle of the field. It's midsummer, it's in full bloom. I mean, the leaves are big, they're gorgeous. She said, I want you to recognize that if this tree, if it loses a leaf, it's not going to die. If it loses a twig or even a branch, it's still going to survive. Yet, Shon, if it loses the trunk, that tree's a goner. She said, your job, Shon, as president of this organization, the world's largest coaching and training company, is to only get involved in trunk decisions. So immediately, got the team together. Let's identify what are our leaf decisions and who has the ability and authority to make them. If I was in real estate today, my transaction coordinator, I'd say, listen, if there's an inspection issue and you can solve it, I mean, if the deal's gonna die, if you can solve it for $500 or less, write the check. I don't even want to know about it. Just write the check. Half a loaf of bread is so much better than no bread at all. And if you can keep a deal together for $500, don't get caught up in the principle of the thing. Guys, could you imagine get that buyer back in your car for $500? Drive them all over town, show them another 20 houses, have to renegotiate it, maybe have to write 2 or 3 more offers just to get one accepted? Over $500? Are you kidding me? Write the check. Get on to the next, right? What are the twig decisions? What are the branch decisions? Nevertheless, in business, we do not need to be control freaks. What we need are controls. All right, how many of you believe in this statement? Greatest denominator is holding me back is me. Sometimes we just have to get out of our own way and let our life be big. Letting go is a great way to help make that happen. Leverage, delegation is critical. And by the way, you might say, well, I'm an independent agent. I don't have anybody to delegate to, and that is totally untrue. In fact, we're going to talk about that a little bit later. I'm going to show you how to apply leverage, even if you're not intending to build a team, even if you don't want to hire a transaction coordinator. I'm going to show you how to do this. Do me a favor, though. Just somewhere in your outline, here's what I want you to do. I want you to write down how much money you want to make in 2020. Total gross commission income. Just anywhere in your handbook. I don't really care. Just anywhere. Out on the side. Some of you are going to write it really small. Some of you are going to write it really big. That's okay. How much money do you want to make in 2020? Total gross commission income. Okay, those of you who know me, you know exactly what's coming, right? I want you to put a big X through that. I want you to multiply it by 2, and I want you to write down your new number. Now, what just happened? What did that inner voice just say to you? See, let me ask, are there other people doing that second number you just wrote down? Yeah, successfully exclusive. If they can do it, you can do it. You can do it, no doubt about it. All right. So should or must? I should do that, or I must do that. See, a lot of you say, well, I should do this, I should do that, I should do that too, and you end up with a really shouldy life. So, and as I think about that, I think of, we've got a series of maxims that we call them at Icon, one of which is probably my favorite one. It's dream believer or dream buyer. You choose. See, guys, every dream comes with a price tag. Let's agree. By the way, everything we want, it feels like it's kind of uphill. Would you agree with that? Anything worth achieving, well, it's hard to do. It feels uphill. Can we all agree? Yet many of us, we have uphill dreams and we have downhill habits. By the way, if you're cruising through life and you're just coasting along, feeling like everything is easy breezy, well, you're probably going downhill. Follow me? So nevertheless, every dream comes with a price tag. So do you just believe the dream? Or are you willing to buy the dream? Will you pay the price necessary? Now, for everybody in this room, that price tag is totally different. For some of you, it might be 10 conversations every single day. Others of you, it might be investing in a CRM tool that's going to help organize your lead follow-up process. Guys, the fortune's in the follow-up, especially after the digital marketing revolution with buyers and sellers being able to self-identify 18 months too early. If you don't have that nurturing process, see, they get into this dreaming phase, that's when the hand goes up or you're notified that you've got a new lead. They're in the dreaming phase. They're not over here in this buying phase. Yet the biggest challenge is if you ignore them when they're in the dreaming phase, they're going to ignore you when they get to the buying or listing phase, yeah? So again, the price tag is totally different for every single person in this room. I want to share with you the ultimate success formula. You guys ready? It's pretty simple. I believe it starts with the creation of your long-term vision. The creation of your long-term vision. Reverse engineering that back down into, okay, in order to accomplish the long-term vision, what do I have to accomplish this year? So we build an annual business plan. Our annual business plan identifies our monthly targets of the things we must accomplish this month. Can we all agree that our annual business plan should dictate our monthly actions? Yes. Absolutely. Breaking it down from monthly actions to then weekly actions, and then finally, time blocking the actions, the activities, strategies, tactics that are necessary for you to accomplish your goal. So let's start with long-term strategy. I think that starts first, recognizing, well, here's where I'm at today, right here, right now, this is where I'm at. And wherever that is, I mean, you could be at the bottom of the bottom. I really don't care. I want you to just recognize, here's where I'm at with no judgment whatsoever. Because the simple truth is, you could be at the bottom of the bottom. It has no bearing on where you're going to be 3 months, 6 months, 9 months down the road with the appropriate action. You all agree? So just get real about it, get right about it. Okay? Then identify, where do you want to be someday? Someday, like in excess of 5 years, what do you want your business to look like? Now, can we all agree that the shortest distance between those 2 points is a straight line? Yeah. Yet sadly, people don't live their lives intentionally. They don't live it in a straight line, or at least most of them don't. I'll tell you though, those that achieve extraordinary success, they do. See, here's how it works in the normal person's life. They make the next logical decision. Then they make the next logical decision. Then they make the next one. And then the next one. Oh, that one was fun and I made some money doing it. And then they make the next one. And a lot of times they run out of time. They run out of energy. They're forced to give up instead of go up. See, rather, it's about reverse engineering, yeah? Here's my someday vision. Here's what I want to be someday. Here's where I'm at today. Let's reverse engineer that. Based on that someday vision, what do I need to accomplish in the next 5 years? To be on track to that someday vision. Okay, based on the 5-year answer, where do I need to be in the next 3 years? Based on the 3-year answer, where do I need to be this year, in the next 12 months? The next 6 months, next quarter, the next month, the next week, today, finally, right now, what do I need to do right now to take a step along that straight line, an intentional straight line? And before we break for lunch, I want to get into this exercise. And I want you to go deep. Turn to page 9. Turn to page 9. I want you to answer, what is that someday vision? What do you want your business to look like in excess of 5 years? Identify your answer. Do you want a team? Do you want to own your own brokerage? No. Yeah, the traditional brokerage model, guys, it's broken. Don't do it if you're thinking about it, seriously. They're not profitable. Don't do it. We know. Been there, done that, right? Do you want to build a team?
Yes.
Do you want to own a mortgage company? Do you want to own a title company? I want you to think big. What do you want it to look like someday? Do you want to own your own building that your real estate team is housed in? Just spell it out. What's that someday vision? Then based on that someday vision, in excess of 5 years, go ahead and answer the question, to accomplish someday vision, where do I need to be in the next 3 years? What is that benchmark? How will you know that you're on track to accomplish someday vision in 3 years? What is that going to look like? Is it based in production? Is it based in number of transactions? Is it based in the size of the team? Maybe you want expansion units. You want this concept of single agent franchising to bring your brand to a different adjacent market, to empower others and then support them by doing lead generation, lead conversion efforts with them and for them. I've got friends that have over 200 expansion agents on their team. It's possible. 200 different markets. Okay. Someday to 3 years. Now I want you to just narrow it down. What do you need to accomplish in the next 12 months? How many transactions? How many team members? For some of you, how many in your downline? Based on that 12 months, what do you need in 6 months? Where are you going to be in 6 months? What's that straight line look like? How will you know that you're on track to accomplish the 12-month goal? Based on the 6-month expectation, where do you need to be in 3 months? Turn to page 10, the next 30 days. How about next week? Or even today? What do you need to do today to take that step on that straight path toward the someday vision? Great job, everybody. I love it. All right, do me a favor real quick. If you have an empty chair next to you, just go ahead and raise your hand up high. So we got some people at the back of the room that don't have chairs. If you'd like to, please feel free to sit in here with these guys. In fact, everybody, this has been a little deep. It's been a little bit heavy. Would you all agree? It's good stuff, though, isn't it? All right, everybody stand up with me. Come on. Stand up. There we go. All right. Yeah, do me a favor. Go ahead and raise your hands up again as high as you can. Just stretch it out. Doesn't that feel good? Now bend to your right. Okay. Other right. There you go. Your left. There you go. Straight up as high as you can. Okay, do me a favor. Go ahead and reach your arm, your right arm, behind your back like this, and go ahead and remove the underwear. I'm kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding. Now, everybody face the windows that way. Stay in your rows, okay? And I want you to go ahead and put your hands on the shoulders of the person in front of you. You can stay in your rows. Go ahead. Don't go across the aisles. It's okay. There you go. Yep, start massaging them. Go ahead. Oh, there you go. Oh, that feels good, right? All right, give them some karate chops. Go for it. Karate chops. Okay, hands straight up again. Turn around to 180 degrees and return the favor. Go for it. Go ahead and give us some karate chops. There you go. Good job, everybody. Okay, take your seats. Go ahead. Okay, count to three. Everybody say shh. 1, 2, 3. Shh. Excellent. Okay, now what I want you to do, turn to page 11 with me. Oh, by the way, love this quote. Pretty smart guy actually wrote this. It's in a book that's going to be released here pretty soon. If you don't create and stay true to your own vision, you become part of somebody else's. Think about that. If you do not create and stay true to your own vision, you become part of somebody else's. I want to share with you a strategy. It's how to shift from the I do it phase in real estate sales to then step into this phase of we do it together, right? You start pulling in some leverage through people to ultimately step over the line to what I'd say is the they do it phase. Now, it's not easy, that's for darn sure. Okay? Yet I'm going to share with you the structure and the strategy on how you can get there. See, until you can get to the they do it phase, you don't own a business. You understand this? You own a job with a lot of responsibilities and a lot of risk. So I believe it starts with what I call the ETA. As I said, the ultimate success formula, you start with long-term vision, you reverse engineer that. Once you get to that year benchmark, you build your annual business plan. I call it the ETA. It's an acronym. Expectation, targets, and actions. And yet, just like the traditional acronym around ETA, it'll tell you how to get where you're going and when you'll get it accomplished. The E stands for expectation, yes? Now, expectation is merely a better word for the word goal. How many of you are kind of sick of hearing the word goal? See, I think in our industry it's overused. When I set a goal, it almost creates an energy of uncertainty. Oh, it's a goal. I might not accomplish that. Rather, I prefer to set expectations. See, words carry energy, do they not? Words affect our mindset, is that true? And the word expectation, all of a sudden I just expect it to happen. Targets, let me give you a definition. It's an interim expectation. It's measurable, and it's not grounded in a singular activity, meaning many things must happen for a target to be accomplished. You'll understand. And then, of course, actions. This is very similar to, if you're from the old KW world, the 1-3-5 kind of process, right? So here's what the form looks like. It's on page 11. At the top, you're going to outline your expectation. Forgive me, there's a typo that should say 2020. I want you right here, right now, go ahead and set your expectation for 2020. How many transactions will you close? What's the sales volume? What's the gross commission income? Just go ahead and write that down on the blank for your expectation. By the way, do me a favor and get to the number of transactions. I know a lot of the guys in California that I consult with and coach and teams, what they do is they really set expectations around sales volume. Do the math for me, though. What's your average sales price and how many transactions would that equate to if you like sales volume expectations, okay? Just get to number of transactions. Okay, target 1. See, everything starts with a listing. Would you guys agree with that? See, once you get a listing, you have something to advertise, something to hold open to attract people to you, right? So I want you to outline how many of those transactions are going to be listings versus buyers. Target number 1, how many closed listings in 2020? How many closed listings in 2020? By the way, if you're a buyer specialist, you just put how many closed buyers you'd like. Target 2 would be the balance. Let's say I wanted to close 36 transactions. I recognize listings are leverage, so I wanted 20 of them to be closed listings and 16 to be closed buyers. Target 1, 20 closed listings. Target 2, 16 closed buyers. Target 3, I just want you to write one word. Leverage. Now remember, 4 categories to leverage, right? Models, systems, technology, and people. So let's go back up to target number 1. Everybody at the same time, just shout out how many listings you want to close in 2020. 1, 2, 3. Love it. How are you going to do it? Okay, this is how we outline the actions, okay? Actions. And by the way, after lunch, we're going to come back, we're going to do a deeper dive on this. And I'm going to ask that during lunch, I want you to start thinking about some of these actions or strategies or tactics that you're going to implement into your current business model in order to close that many listings. Maybe it's things as simple as contacting 3 for sale by owners a day, 5 expireds per day, calling my sphere of influence 4 times per year. These are the type of actions. Now, by the way, I believe there's not going to be a single ETA that looks exactly like another in this room, okay? This is the strategies and tactics. There's 1,000 ways to be successful in real estate sales. My question to you is, what are you willing to do? What are you willing to commit to? And 3 to 5 actions under each target that will get you there. Target 2, number of buyers. How many open houses are you going to host per month, per week? Are you going to invest in some sort of a digital marketing tool like a Commissions Inc. platform or KV Core and invest $300 to $500 per month in ad spend? What is that going to look like? How are you going to identify these buyer prospects? Are you going to join a BNI group? Are you going to do business-to-business type prospecting? Meaning, and I'll share a simple example with you because I want you to have some substantial actions that you can just walk out that door with today and truly implement into your business. For example, one of the ways that I could get referrals from what I called linchpins in our market area, I'm talking about like CPAs, divorce attorneys, probate attorneys, trust attorneys, financial planners, insurance agents, right? I would contact them directly and I would say, hi, it's Shon Kokoszka. Thank you so much for taking my call. I'm sure that you can imagine, as a full-time professional real estate agent in our local market area, from time to time I come across clients and prospects that are in need of a financial planner, and I'm just curious, are you taking new clients at this time? What do they always say? Perfect. When can we get together for just 5 minutes? I'd like the opportunity to introduce myself to you. I want to collect some of your promotional materials, some of your business cards. I mean, perhaps we could be of assistance to one another. Is it mornings or afternoons? Guys, it's about 100% ratio from contact to appointment. You tracking with me? You meet them. Keep the promise, right? 5 minutes. That's it. Quick meeting. Get their cell phone number. About an hour after the meeting, drop them a text. Such a pleasure to meet you today. Thank you for your time. I really look forward to networking with you. To which they respond, I look forward to networking with you as well. You follow up with them by phone a couple of days later. Hey, John, I just want to let you know that I've added your marketing materials to my listing presentation, to my buyer pack, to my approved vendor list, by the way, and I got my eyes open for you. Hey, I'm just curious. Who do you know right now that's looking to buy a home, sell a house, or invest in real estate that I could call today? And there's nothing that says you can't have 25 financial planners on your approved vendor list. 25 CPAs, by the way, with tax reform earlier this year, a lot of people are calling their CPA saying, I'm thinking about selling this house. The CPA is going to know before a real estate agent does. By the way, where do you get your hair done? Could you have that conversation with them? Who's the painter that you recommend? See, if I personally was going to list my home for sale, I would probably call my painter. I got a beautiful 9-year-old little girl, and she loves to touch the walls. You follow me? Yeah, I'm thinking about getting my house on the market. When can you come over and do the touch-up paint real fast? A painter would probably know before a real estate agent. You guys okay? We doing all right? All right, good stuff, good stuff. Rob, is lunch ready? All right, all right, all right. Count of three, everybody say shh. 1, 2, 3. Shh. Okay, so real quick, let me hear from some of you, real fast. What's one thing you took away thus far today?
Action.
Action. Tell me more about that word. I love it.
I just recently got back into real estate after a 2-year hiatus.
Okay.
I think it's my first real estate event that I've been to.
Fantastic. Just recently got back into real estate after a 2-year hiatus. First real estate event you've been to since you came back. Congratulations. I love it. Yes.
As hard time we have in business and industry, it's always somebody who had harder time like you are.
So, yeah, no matter how bad it gets, somebody's had a harder time. Like, thank you. I'm glad I could be that example. Yes.
One relationship that can change everything for you.
Say, oh, one relationship can change everything in your world. If your business isn't where it should be or could be, gang, you're just missing a key relationship, right? Who else? Yes.
When you break it down from 5 years to 3 years to 12 months and so forth, you realize, wow, this is actually really doable. It's not as difficult as you thought, and maybe your goals are a little bit smaller.
Awesome. Okay, so by reverse engineering from the someday vision, it helps you kind of get your mind around that. Hey, it is possible. Now, there's a term, gang, called hyperbolic discounting, which means that what is out in the future we perceive to be less valuable than what is in front of us today. Meaning, if I were to offer you $100 today or $200 tomorrow, how many of you would take the $100 today? Today. Then $200 tomorrow? Do you not trust me? How many of you would take $100 today or how many of you would take $200 tomorrow? Yeah, when given an alternative choice, just take both. I love it, yes. Okay, so hyperbolic discounting, here's what it means. I could offer you $100 today or $200 a year from today. How many of you would take the $100 today? How many of you would take $200 a year from today? Okay, so a mass majority will take $100 today, meaning if you could double your money year over year, you will eventually outpace Warren Buffett himself. You understand this, yes? All right, good, good. Let's hear a couple more ahas. Go for it. Back here. To be teachable, to be coachable. I love it. Yes?
You decide your habits, not your future.
Ooh, you decide your habits, not your future. The habits decide your future. I love it. 20-time bold graduate right here, by the way. Phenomenal. Yes?
If it's 500 or less, just write the check.
Ooh, I love it. 500 or less, write the check. The time value of money, guys, right here.
Control is what we need for business, not control freak.
Ooh, I love it. Don't be a control freak. All you need are controls. Yes, sir.
I've always used the why and the how that you were talking about, but the visual of the balance beam and your grandkids on the other side, that made the how so freaking strong. I really love it.
Awesome. Okay, make that why burn with white heat intensity. Yes, sir.
Your goals are up, your habits are down.
Uphill goals with downhill habits, right? So we've got to bring conscious awareness to the habits we want to possess. We're going to dive deeper into that today. Over here.
10 calls.
Just 10 calls. Guys, 10 conversations. By the way, all work expands to fill the time allowed, right? Give yourself an hour to make that happen. You'll get it done in an hour. Give yourself all day to make it happen. It can take you all day, right? Somebody over on this side of the room. Yes? Oh, make trunk decisions. Absolutely. Delegate the leaf, the twig, the branch decisions to other people. Now, one of the things I wanted to touch on that I kind of skipped over a little bit, yet I said if you're an individual agent, you still have the opportunity to apply leverage to your model through people without paying them. Isn't that cool? See, one of the things that drives me insane is that there are many realtors and teams in real estate out there that are outsourcing all of their lead follow-up to an ISA, company. In essence, they're writing checks for thousands of dollars every single month to get them to follow up with the leads that they're generating. Guys, there are people in your own backyard that'll do that for you for free. How many of you guys know a mortgage loan originator? Anyone? I'll tell you, when I was a buyer's agent, I was investing 3 to 4 hours a day in lead follow-up to buyer prospects that were going nowhere. And why? Well, because I couldn't stand that gut-wrenching feeling that we've all experienced. Following up with a buyer a day too late and say, oh, Shon, I wish you would have called me last week. We just went under contract. So I would invest, I'd push away from that pain, and I would invest 3, 4 hours a day in following up with prospects that weren't going anywhere. So I thought, well, I don't have anybody to delegate that to, and of course I want the deal, so I'm not giving it to another agent on the team, right? My mind immediately went to my lender. I called him up. I said, listen, I want to give you the opportunity to earn the business of every one of our buyer prospects here, and we've got a lead generation machine, you understand. He said, Shon, what do I have to do? I said, first, you might want to write these down. 4 things. I want you to follow up with every buyer prospect I send you until they buy or die. Okay? Second, you've got to use my script. And here's how the first script went, by the way. Hi, this is John with XYZ Mortgage Company, and Shon Kokoszka asked me to give you a call. Before I begin, I just want to take a moment and commend you on your selection of a realtor. You know what? Shon is by far the best realtor I've ever come across. I've been doing this for 28 years. How'd you get in touch with Shon? See, I'm so glad you made the decision to use Shon because he's going to make your life and my job so much easier. Guys, that first call, make it all about you. Coach them up, tell them what to say. And by the way, expand that out to the roofer that you refer business to. You go on a listing presentation, you notice that they had a roof leak. You say, hey, I've got a great roofer. Would it be okay if I referred them to you? Of course, they're going to say, yeah, I'll take your recommendation. Let's say you walk out of that listing appointment without a signed listing contract. You call your roofer and you say, hey, listen, I'm going to get you business. I need your help. I need you to call these people, and here's what I want you to say. I want to take a moment and commend you on your selection of a realtor. You know what? Shon is by far the best realtor I've ever come across. I've been doing this for 18 years. How'd you get in touch with Shon? Guys, make it all of it. See, if you said it, or if I said it, well, that's ego-based. How many of you know somebody with a really big ego? How many of you are sitting next to that person right now? I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I would love to see 2 rows, meaning we start at the front, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? I want to see these 2 rows, those 2 rows, and so on and so forth. I want to see you guys get together and formulate a group. And I want you to just start brainstorming, masterminding, okay, the actions associated with your ETA. What are the actions? Here's what I want you to think about. And here's the question. What is the most aggressive lead generation or marketing tactic that you've ever implemented that is providing you with the most traction right now? And I want you to share it with your group to help them identify perhaps some actions that they could put into their ETA. You guys with me? Okay, so again, 2 rows, and you guys over here and you guys over here, just turn around and face and turn around and face and so on and so forth. I just want you to share with these people what is your best strategy, tactic, or marketing idea that gets you the most traction. Let's dive into the exercise. Go for it. Excellent. Nice work. Nice work, everybody. Let's kind of clear this out. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to think for just a second to yourself, okay, what did you hear that's a really outstanding idea or some strategy, whether it's a tactic or some action that could go into your ETA in order to get listings, in order to get buyers? Yes, right here.
I really should go over my sphere of influence. I have a lot of them, but I'm hiding from most of them.
Okay, so sphere of influence, the SOI, you guys. Let's change the way we look at that. SOI is an acronym, you know that, right? Source of income. That's exactly right. When nurtured appropriately, let me tell you the math that we discovered while doing the rewrite of the Millionaire Real Estate Agent, okay? The math on this for mega agents, top producing agents that truly nurture that database the way that it's supposed to be done, it's a 12-to-2 ratio, meaning for every 12 people you have in your SOI, you'll do 2 deals a year. One will be directly with one of those 12 people. The other will be a referral from one of those people. That's why we break it out 12-to-2 instead of 6-to-1. You follow me? For every 12, do the math. You'll do 2 deals for every 12 people in your database per year. You know, my mother's husband, Tony DeCello, sold real estate in Boulder, Colorado in a database of about 800 people. The guy would do about 150 sides a year, and that's all he focused on was sphere of influence. That's it. Really did nothing beyond that, yet he would do 150 deals a year. By the way, average sales price back then in the early 90s, about $650,000 in the early 90s in Boulder, Colorado. Not bad, right? Not bad. I mean, it's not enough to live on, but it's a pretty darn good start, right? All right, let's hear some other actions. Come on, talk to me. What'd you hear? Not all at once, guys.
Using BombBomb to leverage and get face-to-face with clients through your CRM.
Oh, I like it. Using BombBomb to get to your CRM and leverage through BombBomb. See, they have a heat map on BombBomb. Are you guys familiar with that? Meaning, you send out a video, you know how much of it they watched, or did they watch it at all, right? Obviously, it creates a solid call list, because if they watch your video, guess what? They know who you are. It's no longer a colder call, it's more of a warmer call. Let's hear some other actions. Talk to me. The back of the room.
So I did pop buys.
Pop buys. Wow. Bravo. I'll repeat it, by the way. So she did pop buys. Now this was sphere of influence or past clients? Oh, okay. So it's sphere of influence and potential sellers that she met at open houses. And she just did those little pumpkins. How much do they cost? $3. How many did you deliver? 50. How many of you guys have spent $150 to get $2.1 million in sales volume? I don't know, that ROI sucks. All right, let's hear from somebody up here in this group over here. What actions did you write down on your ETA? Talk to me. Follow-ups? Okay, fantastic. So follow-up, one of the things I would advise you to do as an action as it relates to lead follow-up is implement a 3x3 plan. Now, here's one of the main reasons that realtors are not successful at converting leads. Frankly, it's number of attempts. Okay, it's first speed to lead, then it's number of attempts. In fact, Top Producer and in coordination with 5 Street, they did a case study for all of us. And that case study suggests that the average realtor, hear this, they only attempt to reach a lead 1.2 times before they throw it in the trash can. Now, in the same case study, they suggest that when you attempt to reach a prospect 6 times over a 7-day period, that your ability to convert them from a prospect to a client to a commission check increases, now hear this, 900%. Not bad, right? See, the fortune is, in fact, in the follow-up, right? So the 3x3 plan goes like this. 3 attempts a day for the first 3 days. 3 attempts a day for the first 3 days. So we're going to exceed that 6 that the Top Producer in 5 Street said. We're going to try them 9 times in the first 3 days. 3 attempts a week for the next 3 weeks. 3 attempts a month for the next 3 months. Leveraging through technology, getting the reminder showing up on your dashboard. You need to call John Smith today, right? Yes, sir? Well, let's talk about it. Who's got a great idea and strategy to attract millennials? Yes? Video. Yeah, guys, video is no longer an option in your business model. It is a must in your business model. One of the strategies around that are actions that could be associated with your ETA. Could be that you're going to do 1 video every single week with a business leader from your community or a person of influence. You're not going to talk about real estate. The only mention of real estate is, hi, I'm Shon Kokoszka, I'm with eXp Realty, and today I'm going to be interviewing the principal of our local middle school, or the proprietor of the local coffee shop, okay? And that's the only mention of real estate, and then here's what you do. You allow them to tell their story. See, every business owner suffers from the same problem, and that's exposure. See, when you ask to interview them, and all you have to do is ask the questions, and then they're the ones really on film, right? All you need is a cell phone. Okay? You blast it out on social. They're going to blast it out on their social, right? Their employees are going to blast it out on their social. And if you do this, and the clients that I work with that do this, within about 30 days, you become a local celebrity. You create that omnipresent, powerful brand in your community. People will see you in the grocery store. Oh, you're that realtor who does the videos. By the way, that coffee shop owner, the only way they can repay you is what? Referrals. How many people go to a coffee shop in the mornings or afternoons or evenings these days? Yes?
Can I point out Mitzi Taylor Cruz is on the other side, who does a thing called Lincoln Live, and who's been doing it for the last 2 years.
Who's that?
Mitzi Taylor Cruz. So for the last 2 years.
Mitzi De La Cruz. All right. And Lincoln Live? Tell us about it real quick.
So for the last 2.5 years, once a week, I go out and I interview a business owner, 501c3 nonprofit, community leader. I make it all about them. I don't let the conversation go to real estate whatsoever. I have people, at first, they didn't know. They're like, what's Lincoln Live? So I had to kind of explain when I was setting up the interviews. But now, they call me and they say, hey, I have this event going and I know you're booked out for months, but do you mind just popping in and giving us a little bit of footage and things like that? And so it's just kind of on autopilot.
Awesome.
And I also have them donate a raffle prize. So I do a live raffle to where if they shared the video by noon the following day and shared in the comments below the video, then they're entered in to win this raffle prize. So it doesn't cost me anything, but it expands my reach digitally. So I've just grown to where people all over the country are reaching out.
That is powerful. Bravo. No, I love it. I love it. Doing the raffle, that brings it to the next level altogether. Fantastic. Oh, and she made Icon this year, which means that, tell me about that.
She, as an Icon agent at the company that we work for, eXp, it means she capped and she sold an additional 20 homes after that, so she gets 16,000 in stock back as a thank you. She sold, I think, 50 homes this year, Nancy.
Fantastic. So you get your entire cap back in the form of EXP stock. That's fantastic. Okay, other actions. Let's hear from this section of the room. Other actions on the ETA. Yes?
I've got one. I want to give props to the lender who's calling 40 agents every Monday and then giving them value in free coaching. So don't call David, free coaching for you start an agent.
I love it. David, the MLO, giving his agents free coaching. Here's how you're converting leads, right? By the way, I think the most important leverage point for any realtor that works the buy side of the business as well as the list side is your lender. Guys, there is so much synergy there. By the way, when you master my 3-step process of getting permission from your prospect to have your lender call them, your lender calls, acts as the third-party endorsement, edifies you in the process, I'll tell you, your ability to convert that prospect to a client increases exponentially. Seriously. And that's why I say it's the most important relationship. Okay? By the way, I told you there were 4 things you'd require your lender to do. I only gave you 2. Remember? The third, to report to you on a weekly basis all the pipeline, all the leads you've sent to them. I need a report from you. Meaning, what was the last point of communication? What's the planned next point of communication? And how would you rate this prospect on a scale from 1 to 10? By the way, there was nothing much more gratifying than having my lender call me and say, hey, Shon, you remember the Jones family? You sent them to me back in October of 2017. Oh, yeah, we talk about them every so often. Well, they're ready now, Shon. You need to call them in the next 15 minutes. And I didn't invest any time in the follow-up.
I just got a referral from a kid that way. David knew him about a year ago, and he was in the room here, and he just gave it to me this morning, so that's awesome.
That is awesome. So that stuff works, right? Social proof right there, guys. You got to love it. Let's hear some other actions. Go ahead.
So this might be for some people who don't have anything going on right now and just want to get closed quickly. It's mainly for buyers. But what I learned is I went on Facebook into the marketplace. I just did this 3 weeks ago, and I put in there under that I have a rental. Hold on, I'll tell you what it says. But I've gotten over 100 leads in the last 30 weeks.
So Facebook Marketplace, you put in there that you have a property for rent.
So I put, because you go into the rental and then you put like whatever, like 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and whatever they're currently renting in your area for like $1,500. And then you put in the, like as a picture of the home, you just put this. Tired of renting, comment your monthly rent amount, and I will send you a list of homes you can own for the same payment.
Ooh. Solid. I don't know if you guys can hear that yet. She puts it in Facebook Marketplace. She put a picture of the home and what it's renting for, and then she, just a picture of.
This. That you want to read it.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah, I'll just read it out loud. Thank you. Tired of renting? Comment with your monthly rent amount, and I will send you a list of homes you can own for the same payment. She got over 100 leads through Facebook Marketplace. That's not.
And then when
That doesn't suck, does it?
When they respond with like 1,600. So then I don't actually send them homes. I say, hey, Arturo, thanks so much for reaching out.
Thank you.
Okay. So when they respond on the Facebook Market, they usually respond with the rent amount. Oh, I have 1,600. That's my max. That's what I'm paying. So then I respond with a voice memo saying, hey, like my last guy I have a meeting today. He's a VA eligible buyer. And he said, hey, Arturo, this is Kayla. Thanks so much for being patient with me and getting back to you. Tell me a little bit, or my lender kind of helped me, and he says, just to give him some value information. So I start with that. So I say, thanks for letting me get it back to you. Just to give you a little bit more information, typically on average, for every $100,000 of home bought, you're going to be paying about $500 per month mortgage and interest payment. So for $1,600, I would say anywhere between maybe $280 or $300, depending on your financial situation. And then then I just say, have you ever looked into purchasing your own home before? And then I just kind of stop there in the conversation. But I have converted. I've just closed 2 people from that. I'm showing another buyer going to write an offer tonight, and then Arturo, he's a VA eligible loan. So and I sent 11 people to my lender this week. So
Bravo. Way to go. Like I said, guys, that doesn't suck, does it? Doesn't suck at all. In fact, that might be an action for your ETA, perhaps. What do you think? Let's hear a couple of other ideas. Come on, let's clear this out. Talk to me. How many of you have, under the buyer section, at least one open house a week? Anyone? Guys, open houses are some of the best ways to earn business of prospects. By the way, depending on the price point of the home you're holding open, I would venture to guess 1 in 5 is going to have a house they want to sell too. Yeah. So by the way, I would encourage you to take a couple of tweaks to your traditional open house that make all the difference. Now hear me out on this, okay? First, go out and preview every other property in close proximity to the home that you're going to hold open. Obviously, you want to knock some doors, invite those home seller or homeowners to attend your open house as well. Neighbors are welcome as well. Second, after you preview those homes and you take really great notes, then I want you to reach out to the listing agents and then say something like this. I'd like the opportunity to set a showing on your listing at such and such address between the hours of 12 and 3 on Saturday, which is also the same time that I'm holding my listing down the street from yours open. Now, I might show it to one person, I might show it to 5 people, I might not show it to anybody at all. I'd just like free access to your listing during the hours of my open house. Point number 4 that I didn't share with you is you invite your lender to attend the open house with you, okay? All right, so that way when a buyer walks through and you start getting curious, right? You say, tell me, how does this home compare to some of the others you've seen? On a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being ideal, how would you rate this home? Well, it's a 6, interesting. What would you change about it to make it a 10? Oh, Shon, we need a bigger kitchen. We'd like a bigger backyard. You know what, I just looked at the home right around the corner from us just the other day. It actually has a bigger kitchen. It actually has a bigger backyard. Have you got 5 minutes right now? Let's run over and take a look at it. Guys, you have to understand, the chances of you selling that home you're holding open, guys, is less than 1%. So rather hold 5 or 6 homes open all at the same time. Make sense? Yeah. Okay, all right. So next point, I want you to bring a laptop with you and a lightweight printer like an inkjet or a laserjet, just something that can fit in your trunk, right? I want to make sure that you have internet access, whether it be through a hotspot on your phone, a puck, or tap into the seller's network. Do like my friend Brent Gove, and on your open house signs, have something that says free list of area homes, right? That way when they come into, a lot of times they'll drive by a neighborhood and they say, oh, we're not interested in that neighborhood. They see the open house sign though, free list of area homes. Ooh, I'll go ahead and turn in there, right? They walk in, hey, what about this free list of area homes? Oh, I'm so glad you came in. In fact, I'll offer you a customized list instead of just some that I think you might like. Why don't you step over to the table here? I'd like to pull up some listings for you. You log right into MLS, right? By the way, do buyers look at properties, do they look at open houses of properties they can't afford? Yep. So even if you've previewed all the other homes in close proximity, you're pretty much dead in the water and you're stuck on the hamster wheel of follow-up. Is that true? Follow-up, yeah. Set the appointment, that's what I'm saying. Okay, so rather you have them fill out your Open Home Pro, or maybe it's a paper form at your open house, right? And then you recognize the price point is not where you're at. You're holding a home open at $500,000, they can qualify up to $350,000. Great. You still want to earn their business, is that true? So you invite them over to the table, you do a customized search on MLS with them, you print those out, and you say, now we're gonna review them with one intention. That's to create an A list of properties, meaning these are the ones you want to see the inside of. And a B list of properties means they're not right for one reason or another, so you print off, let's say there's 7 that match the criteria. Print off all 7, so what do you guys think? A list or B list, A list or B list? And let's say you end up with 4 on the A list. At that moment, you've successfully positioned yourself to possess something they want. So let me ask, how easy is it to set the appointment? By the way, I finished the open house at 3. Would you like to get together at 3:30, 5 o'clock, or would tomorrow morning be better? Easy to set the appointment. Your lender's there. They've got your laptop. They'll pull credit and print off a pre-approval letter for you right there. Fill out the 1003, everything else. Pretty simple way to do it, yes? Let's hear some other actions that went onto your ETA. By the way, how many of you are done with your ETA? Show me your hands. How many of you would like some time to actually start fleshing this out now that we're clearing out some of these great ideas, right? Okay, well, let's do that. In fact, why don't you partner with one other person and just to bounce ideas off of one another as you're building out the ETA. By the time you leave today, I want that thing completely fleshed out. Now, 3 to 5 actions. You don't need 5 actions under each target, yet do at least 3. Go for it. right, all right. Okay, when you hear my voice, clap once. Hear my voice, clap twice. All right. Now, count of three, say shh. 1, 2, 3. All right, all right. I trust that many of you, which I've seen on your tables, have your ETA completed, yes? Some of you need more time. Now, that's okay. I want to make certain that we can get through most of the content. Now, I've come to the realization I won't be able to cover everything I wanted to cover today, okay? So let me just ask you a question. If you would like for me to, I would be happy to put on a separate private webinar for only you guys to finalize the content. Would that be okay? All right. So we're going to get the registration list, and we're going to invite each one of you to attend to this webinar absolutely free of charge, okay? We're going to walk you through the ATA methodology, which is the best form of personal accountability and the best tool I've ever discovered that you can manage others as well as yourself with, okay? We're going to review that during the webinar. We're also going to, in fact, you'll see that on pages 12 and 13. This listings needed calculator, this is such a powerful tool. Have you ever wanted to know how many active listings you need to carry at all times in order to accomplish your goal? With some level of assurity? When you follow the mathematics behind this, see, my mother was a mathematics major, much smarter than me when it comes to that sort of thing. And my sons too, boy, and daughter, geez, amazing at math. If you follow the simple formula, which we'll do during the webinar, you can do it on your own time though, it'll tell you exactly at the bottom how many active listings you need to carry at all times in order to accomplish your goals. Now, real quick, just to direct your attention to this screen, because once you've got a completed ETA, and by the way, if you're like me, you're going to tear that thing apart tomorrow, you're going to redo it. The next day, you're going to tear it apart again, you're going to redo it, and you're probably going to do this 12 or 15 times until you have absolute and massive clarity that this is my business plan for 2020, and I encourage you to do that. Don't be that person who writes a business plan and then put it up on a shelf or in a drawer and have a really smart and productive drawer. Just doesn't work out, right? Just doesn't work out. So once you've built this ETA, though, not only do you have a one-page simple business plan that you can review in 10 minutes and know exactly what to do. I think that's important. See, a lot of the clients that onboard at Icon, they send me their business plan, and it's like 20 pages. I mean, it's executive summaries, pie charts, graphs. I mean, guys, you're not taking this business plan to a bank to get a loan. You follow me? A business plan is designed to give you clarity. A 20-page business plan, it takes you an hour and a half to read it, let alone understand what to do with clarity once you're done reading it, right? So not only do you have this simple business plan, and I like simple. By the way, how many of you guys like riddles? See, I love riddles. It exercises the mind muscle, right? I've got one for you. You ready? What can you sit on, sleep on, and brush your teeth with? I don't know how you brush your teeth with your butt. Okay, nevertheless. What can you sit on, sleep on, and brush your teeth with? It's a chair, a bed, and a toothbrush. Did we make that a little bit more complicated than it needed to be? Of course we did. See, it's because of our neuro associations to the word riddle. Oh, it's a riddle, it must be complicated. A lot of people have the same neuro associations to the word business plan. It's a business plan, it must be complicated. No. Simple, straight lines, easy to review, easy to hold yourself accountable to. Guys, that is the critical element. Remember, that was number 9 on the list of characteristics of top performers. They have a plan, and they're coachable. Yeah? Okay, so not only do you have a one-page business plan, you've actually created your future organizational chart should you decide to leverage through people. And you don't have to. Remember the definition of success, right? It's getting what you want. So as long as you're getting what you want, I think you're really successful. In fact, when I think of that, I think of my beautiful wife back here in the back corner. Wave to him. Say hi. See, when I think of the definition of success, see, I will tell you the one thing that my wife wants more than anything on the face of this planet is to have our 3 beautiful kids look her dead in the eye without any hesitation and say, "You are the best mother on the face of the earth. And I'll tell you what, all three of my kids, without hesitation, without question, would look her in the eyes and say, "You're the best mother in the world." She's very successful. Follow me? All right. So you've also created this future organizational chart should you decide to leverage their people. Here's what it looks like. You know a hierarchy org chart, right? Organizational chart, where that top circle or bubble usually says something like founder, CEO, president, something like that, right? Rather, let's take that top circle, let's make that the E from the ETA, the expectation. And by the way, that's you. That's you on your organizational chart. Your middle, by the way, this is not in your outline. That's you in your organizational chart. Your first key direct report would be target number 1. This could be your lead listing specialist. Target number 2, your lead buyer agent. Target number 3 would be your operation manager. Now, the best part about their job, what do you think it is? You're right. The best part about their job is that it's their job. You hear me? When you identify the right talent, you've got to lean into that talent. You've got to provide the right compensation model to motivate them to act like an owner. In fact, I'll just throw that into the webinar. We'll go through compensation models as well. We'll have some fun together, I promise. Now, the best part about their job is that it's their job, so they are going to go out and identify the right talent to build their respective department. Is this resonating with you? Okay. So you could have 5 targets maximum. See, there's a span of control. Span of control is a military term, meaning the number of people that can effectively report to you that you can effectively manage. And the military will tell you it's anywhere from 3 to 5 people. Now, let me tell you a story about Kelly. Kelly's a client of mine. She's in Dallas, Fort Worth. I was doing a 4-hour workshop there. Kelly walks in 15 minutes early, gives me a firm handshake and says, "Shon, I can't sit here for 4 hours. Just give me the Cliff Notes." Never met her before, which is just a pleasant way of saying, "I'm leaving if you suck." So nevertheless, I got to know Kelly a little bit. She had 16 people on her team, $172 million in total sales volume. Okay? I learned that she won award after award after award, and I learned that she was completely and utterly miserable. Working 75 to 80 hours a week, top performer, all the awards, right? See, she had an 8-year-old son. Missed all of his soccer practices and most of his games. They hadn't been on a vacation for 3 years. All 16 of those people reported directly to Kelly. And I see it happen all the time. An agent finds success, they've got some charisma, some attraction, right? And they start adding agents to their team. The next thing you know, they look up and all 16 of them are looking to them for leadership and management advice. She'd step into the office. She said it felt like 16 umbilical cords attached to her belly button and sucked the life's energy right out of her, right? So we implemented the ETA. She immediately engaged Icon for coaching, by the way. We implemented the ETA, reorganized her chart. She got down to 4 key direct reports. Now, this was early 2017 that she engaged me. 2016, $172 million in sales volume. In 2017, she went on 3 week-long vacations, didn't babysit her phone the whole time. She got down to about 50 hours per week because she really enjoyed it. Down to 4 key direct reports, right? And they closed out at over $240 million in sales volume. There's power in leaning into the right leverage, right? The right people. Okay, so I want to get Brent up here on stage here in just a moment, Brent. But during the webinar, guys, we're going to be going through time and self-management. This is the one I want you to pay attention to, though. Page 15. For some reason, the top of the form didn't print. This is a 66-day challenge. See, Megan Oaten out of the University College of London in Australia, as well as Charles Duhigg, the author of The Power of Habit, they've done a ton of research around habit formation for each and every one of us. Now, I think it was Napoleon Hill who originally coined the phrase that it takes 21 days to form a habit. Well, Megan Oaten, Charles Duhigg, they've done all the research that debunks that theory. In fact, on average, gang, it takes 66 days to form a habit. So at the top of this form, I want you to write the habit that you want to own. That becomes part of your self-image, your personal paradigm. It's just something that you do. And then I want you to put this up on on somewhere where your loved ones or your colleagues can see it and help you with accountability around this. And every day you do that, I want you to put one X on the box. Now, the idea of crossing the X's off the box, that came from a guy, many of you haven't heard of him. His name was Jerry Seinfeld. No joke, no joke. He had a wall calendar up on his refrigerator, and before he was the Jerry Seinfeld, here's what he said. He said, the only thing I've got to do is write one funny joke every day. Practice it, rehearse it, commit it to memory. And every day he did that, he put the X on the day. And he said, my only job is to maintain the chain. Now think of the compounding effects of just doing one thing right every day. After 30 days, he had a full stand-up routine. After 5 years, you get the Seinfeld show. And virtually every person on the planet knows of Jerry Seinfeld, yeah? Okay, so that's the one I wanted to hit you first. We're going to go through all this stuff. Many of you are teasing me. I'm waiting for this big call to action, this big pitch, this big sale, and all of that. It's nothing like that, guys. I do want to bring this program to your attention, though. It's called the Accelerated Breakthrough Program. Essentially, it's 16 weeks of coaching, 4 months of coaching, for a grand total of $350. Or you could break it up into 4 equal payments of $100, 16 weeks. I've invested 29 years of my life into the content associated with this curriculum. And guys, it is off the charts. It is awesome. People that are taking this are doubling, tripling, or even quadrupling their conversion rates, the number of contracts they're writing, and their income in the process. So I wanted to create a program that could be done virtually. We leverage Zoom meetings, Zoom webinar, actually to do it. You can see me, I can see you. I share my screen. We walk you through it. It's 1 hour every single week, 16 weeks. Each session, you download a workbook similar to what you got here. You fill in the blanks, you go through the exercises. We give you assignments between sessions, which is critical. See, we've all come to events like this. You get this shot of enthusiasm. You walk out the door, you're on fire, you've got all this clarity with every intention to implement everything that you wrote down today, and guess what? Life happens. It ends up on a shelf, and not only do you have a smart drawer, you now have a very smart shelf. Yeah? That doesn't happen in a format like this, where we have assignments between sessions. We help you be accountable to do the things you need to do, and we improve your knowledge, your skills, your mindset, and your habits through this process. Guys, your business, your production, your income is going to grow to the extent that you grow. So I wanted to put together a very inexpensive program that has top-notch education, and it's just $350. Next one starts on November 13th. That's this coming Tuesday. It kicks off at 12 o'clock Pacific, and it'll be every Tuesday at 12 o'clock, with exception to Thanksgiving week and the week of Christmas and the week of New Year's Eve. Okay, so we're skipping those. But it's going to go clear out 16 full weeks. It's going to get you into action. For some of you, it's going to be that kick in the tail that you need to get into action, right? And it's very inexpensive. So if you're interested in that, the last page of your workbook, you can either fill that out, turn it into my wife and I at the back of the room, or if you're like me and you don't like your credit card information on a piece of paper that Shon might accidentally lose, which I never do, you can simply text the word breakthrough to 888-111. Immediately, you'll be sent back a link. You can engage in the program. That way, you have the 2 different payment options on the registration page. So guys, I would love the opportunity to add value to you, and there's one thing I just want to promise and commit to you right now. Those of you who do this, who actually engage in this training, I'm going to promise you one thing. You're going to get my best, my very best. And at the same time, would it be fair if I asked the same of you? Fantastic. Well, I hope to see you on those Zoom meetings. You will get an invitation to the webinar. And Mr. Brent Gove, thank you, buddy.
Shon Kokoszka, everyone. Woo! Man, that was great. Thank you.
Thank you, brother.
All right. Okay. Well, we are on the wrap up. By the way, man, that was fantastic. If you got one of these, we charged your phone. We had a whole bunch of them at the front. Please drop it back off on the way out. Well, I'm going to wrap up with this. You guys ready? Okay, so what's the one thing you can do that would be the highest and best use of your time and for 2020? Anybody know? I'm gonna give you some ideas. Think about the question. Hold on. I'm gonna chum the water. What's the one thing you could do? Is it show property? Is it write an offer? Is it organize your CRM? Is it go on a listing appointment? Is it actually negotiate a purchase? Put it in escrow? Is it have exceptional customer service? I mean, what's the one thing? Is it have a high-level understanding of the contract, close a sale, set goals, make plans, problem solve, be a peacemaker, create raving fans? What's the one thing that will really make a big difference? And here's the deal. It's really, those are all things we need to do, all agreed? But there is one thing. Rather than, for the sake of time, I'm going to give you the answer. The answer was none of those things. It was the setup. The one thing you could do that'll make the biggest deal in your life is master lead generation. Because I'm telling you, in 1999, I got frustrated. I had been in real estate for 4 years. I was making great money. And then all of a sudden, escrow after escrow after escrow blew out of escrow. One home didn't appraise. The lender couldn't do the loan for the next one. And then the buyer got spooked by the home inspection on the next one. I went from 3 in escrow. It was my 4th year. And if you're making $10,000 a deal, right, you're making $30,000 for the month. That'll calm your nerves, right? To no income for July, 1999. No income. And I got frustrated with that. And so what I'm here to tell you, if you want a breakthrough, listen to me close. If you want a breakthrough, I hope you're frustrated. Because that's where all my breakthroughs have come through my whole life. When you've had enough of enough, oh baby, look out, mama's pissed. Right? Daddy's had enough. I told my wife, honey, I don't normally do this. I always take time off every week. You'll be more effective. But I said, we got nothing in escrow. If I don't sell something for a week or 2 or 3 and it doesn't close for 30 or 45 days, we're going all summer without income. Isn't that fun? Right? Here's real estate, the life of a real estate agent or broker. I'm excited, I'm depressed. I'm excited, I'm depressed. I'm excited. Why are you excited? Because you have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in escrow. Why are you depressed? Because they closed them all and I got nothing in escrow. You know that that when your spouse looks at you and you just hand her 4 or 5 checks for the month, and she says, honey, we paid off all of our credit card bills. We got, we paid this off. We're current on our taxes. And she says, you're doing so good. Yeah, thanks, baby. And she goes, so what else you got in escrow? Nothing. Like, no, come on, what do you got in escrow? Like we got nothing. That's that low point. We all agree? You know exactly what I'm talking about. It's that sick feeling in your gut. So what I'm going to tell you this, I'm here to tell you my experience after 23 years in real estate and selling 4,000 homes. Frustration is the secret ingredients to breakthrough. So if you're here today and you're frustrated, congratulations, you're about to have a breakthrough. The key is to do something about it. So I told my wife, I'm going to work every day for July, and I'm going to go kill something, drag it home, feed it to the family. Are you right? You got to go. Who could go caveman at me? Anyone could go caveman. What are your family's hungry? What does a caveman do? A cave woman. They go kill something and drag it home to the family. So I want you to go out there and kill something. So what is it you're going to kill? It's called goals. It's called kill your goals. It's called crush it. It's what Grant Cardone's running around the country begging you to do, which is do 10 times more than you're currently doing. Everybody wants to make 4, 5, 6, 700,000 a year, $1 million plus a year in real estate. And then, what's your goals? Show property this weekend. What's your goals this month? How many homes are you going to list? 1, 2. Okay, there's a problem here. What are you doing today? I don't know. I'm going to the office. I'm going to have coffee with my friends. Whoa! Hey, I got there at 8 a.m. Whoa! Right? So my frustration caused me to do this. I looked at my wife. I said, I've just had it. I'm better than this. I've been in this for 4 years. I'm already doing well. And I got no income for the summer. This sucks. So I said, I had already mastered lead generation. And if you know much about me, it was through open houses. And everything I know is on a website called BrentGoveResources.com. You could click on the open house thing. I did a 90-minute training right here. It's good in my humble opinion. So I had a lot of clients. So if you have 1 or 2 clients and you sell every one of them a home, how many homes are you going to sell for the month? If you have 30 or 40 or 50 clients or 60, or how could anyone have that? You can have that. And you start selling even half of them homes, 60 clients, half by, how many homes you can sell for the month? I set a goal to sell 30 homes in 30 days. Many of you know the story. It's called a B-HAG, a big, hairy, audacious goal. In other words, who the beep do you think you are? It's audacious. Like nobody does that. Nobody. Get back in the bucket. And they grab you by the ankle and they rip you back down. Who do you think you are? 30 homes in 30 days. You got some cojones. Right? That's Nicaraguan. I've never even been there, but I know they talk like that. Right? You got some, you want Hawaiian? You got some coconuts. Right? Some that's Samoan, I'm sorry. Coconuts. So I set a goal. Everyone's trying to sell 30 homes in a year. I'm like, I'm pissed. I mean, I hope you're angry. I hope you want to come up here and just deck me. Because you're better than this. You are better than this. You set itty-bitty goals and you live an itty-bitty life and you're not impacting people like you could. So first you got to step up and say, I am the man. I am the woman. I am going to go get this. I'm going to face fear down and just step on its little neck and snap it. And so I told everybody, I'm selling 30 homes in 30 days. And then the goal may be set new activity. I'm like, well, crud, if I'm going to do that, I better get to work. I didn't roll into the office at 8, 9, or 10. I was up at 6 a.m. going, what am I going to do to sell a house today? So then I had to think, okay, I'm going to show property every day. If I'm going to show homes every day, I better be showing property every day. Was it my goal to show property every day prior to the big HAG, big, hairy, audacious goal? No, I didn't have a goal to show property every day. How many agents in California have a goal? Every single day they're showing a house, it could be at least one, 2 or 3 or 7, to somebody every day. If agents showed property to someone every day, 30 homes in 30 days, would they sell homes? So I set this goal, and then I went after it, and it didn't happen. But the third day, I showed property to 2 people in one day. Now I'm only a day behind. And the fourth day, nobody. And by the 5th day, I was working so hard that I showed 3 people property in one day. Now I'm caught up, right? 5. And I worked so hard. And guess what happened? At the end of 30 days, after telling everybody, opening my big mouth, I failed epically. Now, prior to this goal, my record was 7 homes in escrow. And it was after I had a meeting with Fred Wilcox in Folsom. He's right there. Raise your hand, Fred. Claim me a little bit. Fred taught me everything I know about real estate besides my parents. Where's Dad? Dad, are you still here? He heard I was speaking. He's heard me enough. But anyways, so my parents helped me a ton, but Fred was really helpful to me. But I said, you know what? I've had enough. And my record was 7. How many feel pretty good to close 7 homes in a month? Would you feel good? Get good income from that? So that month, I failed. I didn't even get close. I only sold 14 that month. Now, when you double your all-time record, 7 became the norm, the new norm. In other words, once you learn how to ride a bike, you can't forget. Once you conquer your fear, people say, well, Brent, you've been so successful in your new venture. Wow, you're an overnight success. No, I've been staring my demons down for 34 years. I've been going to, come on. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you. I'll give him the credit. The Lord's good. Amen. Don't make me speak in tongues. Now, so here's the deal. He's kidding, right? Anyways, so, hey, you ain't frustrated enough, okay? We all speak in some sort of tongue. Now, here's the deal. 30 homes, 30 days. I sell 14 homes. I make about $100,000 for the first time in a month. Is it all about money? Is this you with money? No, but having no money for your family sucks too, right? There's got to be a balance. Here's the deal. I was never the same after that. I changed my life in 30 days. Real estate became easy. It became fun because I set a huge goal. So now it's your turn. I want you to leave here today by setting a big, hairy, audacious goal. So I'm going to chum the water, give you some things to think about. You got to pick one, and I'm going to give you a very exciting assignment. So some of you are new going, well, Brent, I don't have 60 clients. I can't do 30 homes in 30 days. I'll give you that. You're brand new. We have some brand new people here. We have Coldwell Banker agents here. We have RE/MAX agents here. We have Century 21, Realty One, Keller Williams. We have 100 guests here. Thank you for coming. Welcome. But some of you are like, I just can't do that. Could you do 30 open houses in 30 days? Well, you could do that. Could you show property 30 times in 30 days? Maybe not sell 30 homes, but like every day somebody's going to see a house. And you start calling around, check this out. Could you, or maybe it's go for the big one, sell 30 homes in 30 days. Maybe it's door knock 1,000 homes in the next 30 days. Is that a B-HAG? Not really. It's 50 homes a day. You do it in the morning. 5 days, that's 250 times 4, that's 1,000 homes, right? You could door knock 1,000 homes. You may be too lazy to do it, but you could do it, right? Can I be honest? You may be too lazy to do it. Now, I've never door knocked. Am I lazy? No, but I didn't get real estate to door knock. That's just me. You could do it. If I need to fan my family, well, I would do it, you know. I stood in open houses freezing my butt off in the winter. I did that, open houses, woohoo. But I learned how to do it, okay? And so maybe it's that. Maybe it's list 8 homes in the next 30 days. That's 2 weeks. So you break it down. I got to get 2 this week. How are you going to do that? Now you come up with a game plan for that. So what's your B-HAG? I want you to pick one right now to yourself. Take about 30 seconds to a minute. Just pick one. Don't overthink it. Yeah, I'm going to do 30 homes and 30 open houses in 30 days. How will I get them? Don't worry about that. Set the goal. The game plan will come. I want you to pick one right now. What is it? What is your B-HAG? Because I'm telling you, you're going to get a breakthrough. You're going to get a breakthrough like you've never had in your life. And if you're like, this is stupid, this isn't not for me, I get it. You're too comfortable. You're just not frustrated enough. And that's okay. When you get to the end of your rope, you'll be ready. Some of you are ready right now. So what is it? You don't want to work with buyers? List 30 homes in the next 30 days. List 10, list 20. I don't know what it is. It's your B-HAG, not mine. Everyone got one? When you have a B-HAG, everyone look down. Everyone look straight down. When you've picked a B-HAG, I want you to look down. You're not looking down. You're staring at me. I know I'm extremely good looking. I need you to look down, okay? Now, all of you are blessed with this kind of a body. Now, here's the deal. Look down. When you have your B-HAG, I want you to look at me in the face. When you have, y'all know the majority of the room has their B-HAG. I'm going to give you a minute. I want you to think about what could you do in the next 30 days that scares the tar out of you. Don't think I wasn't freaked out about selling 30 homes in 30 days. Is it the open houses? Is it the door knocking? Is it calling expireds? Is it reaching out to for sale by owners? Is it a combination of all the above? What is it you're going to do in the next 30 days? Because I'm telling you, you're going to hit January like a mad woman, like a madman. Well, Thanksgiving's coming. I get it. You're just not frustrated enough. Take Thanksgiving off. You don't have to do anything on Thanksgiving, okay? I'll give you 1 day off. Y'all got it? Y'all got your B-HAG? You got one? Raise your hand if you got your B-HAG. Raise it high. The rest of you aren't trying hard enough. 30 more seconds. Pick something. It doesn't have to be list 30 homes in 30 days or sell 30 homes in 30 days. It could be something that you could start from scratch, like 30 open houses in 30 days. I just can't. 20 open houses in 30 days. I just can't. 10. If that's your B-HAG, if that seems like Mount Everest, I think it's awesome. Do 10 open houses in the next 30 days. I can't do 50 a day. I got a hurt hip. Can you do 25? No. Can you do 10? Yeah, but it's going to hurt. Okay, that's your B-HAG. That's 10 a day. That's 50 a week. That's 200 doors you'll knock. And that's your B-HAG. It's awesome. Is anyone judge anybody here? You got it? So here's what I'm going to do. I want you to break up. I'm going to give you like 1 minute. Turn around, turn to your side. Break up in groups of 2 or 3. And you just met your accountability partner for your B-HAG. You have to tell them what it is you're going to do. And listen to me, hold on. You have to start a text thread and check in every day and hold each other accountable. Go. You got like 1 minute. Tell them what your B-HAG is. Exchange numbers later. Tell them what your B-HAG is. $20 more seconds. You're just telling them what your B-HAG is. 20 more seconds. What's your B-HAG? Tell them. Groups of 2 or 3. What is it? 10 seconds. Okay, time's up. Up. That's it. Hold on. This is it. Time's up. So you just stop talking. Get your neighbor. Hit him. Elbow him. Stop talking. Stop talking. Here we go. Time's up. So all of you just hopefully set a goal. Tell the person, tap them on the shoulder. It's not being rude. I'm asking you to do it. Tap them on the shoulder. Tap them. The drivers, come on, drivers, tap them on the shoulder. They're ignoring you. Tap them harder. Okay, listen. Listen quiet. You just hopefully set a goal that scares you. It's kind of outrageous. It's ridiculous. Like, who the heck do you think you are? And I hope you get that accountability thread going, a 3-way text, 2-way text, and you check it every day. Hey, I got it done. How about you? How's it going? And you cheer them on, and you go boom, 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 next 30 days. I'm telling you, you'll live a life you never dreamed of in 2020. I'd like to end with a story. The story's this. It's about a guy named Little Jimmy. Little Jimmy was born at the turn of the century. True story. By the time he was 23, he was offloading cargo in New York City off of boats. He was doing that, and for fun, he'd box, except he was one of those talented boxers. He did so well, he quit offloading boats. They actually made a movie about this, by the way. It's like National Geographic, a documentary. You know when they made a documentary about your life? And so he ends up getting rich. He has a home. He's got cars. Remember in the it was about 1927, 28, 20, it was about 1928, 1929, right before the stock market crash. He had the fur coats with the big fur. You know how they are back then? And he's rich. He's balling it. He gets in a fight. And he got beat so bad by a guy that was bigger, he almost died. Scared the New York Boxing Commission so bad, they revoked his boxing license, and he couldn't make a living. Like you lose your real estate license or your broker's license. And some of you know what I'm talking about. And it freaked him out. And then the stock market, to make it further worse, the stock market crashes. Bam. Unemployment goes rapid across America. Grapes of wrath, right? Oklahoma, the whole thing. People are starving. There are soup lines. What happens is he's begging for work, and in that fight, he broke his right hand. So he's on the docks hiding his broken right hand, raising his left hand, going, pick me, pick me. There's 200 guys, and they pick 10 guys. Every once in a while, he gets to work, and he has to do everything with his left hand because his right hand, his boxing hand, is broken in that fight. He fought valiantly, almost died. So about a year goes by, and it's getting worse and worse and worse. It's now winter. They can't pay the oil bill for their apartment in New York. They have 3 children. Their kids are like 2, 4, and 6. They all have pneumonia. They're literally dying in their apartment. They can't order food. They can't keep the apartment warm for their children. It's the middle of winter in New York. They're freezing to death. They are starving to death, literally. This true story, documented. He gets so frustrated, so desperate. He comes home from work one day. And by the way, he wasn't frustrated or desperate until he came home from work. He comes home and the apartment's empty. Totally empty. And he looks around. His wife comes out. He's like, the kids are gone. They're always there. He's like, where are the kids? Where are the kids? And she goes, Jimmy, just calm down, calm down. He goes, no, what do you mean calm down? Where are the kids? Where are the kids? It's okay. They're next door. And he's like, what's up? And he's, Jim, we got to talk. We can't feed our own children. We can't keep them warm. They're literally, they have pneumonia. They're coughing in bed. She said, I've made arrangements for little Johnny to go to Iowa with your aunt, for little Billy to go to Orlando with your brother and his wife. And basically they cart off their 3 kids all over the country. They go, we can't provide for our own children. And guess what happens? He snaps. Remember I said? Frustration is what happens right before your breakthrough. He gives to his old boxing promoter. He storms out of the house. Where are you going? He never mind. And he gets his old boxing promoter, and the guy's like, get away from me, you loser. And that's what his old promoter said, the little guy. And he picks him up. He puts him against the wall with his feet half ground. He goes, you owe me, man. I made you so much money. You owe me. Give me one fight. And he's like, geez, fine. Let me down. He goes, fine. One fight, then leave me alone. $50. He goes, will you do a fight for $50? He goes, for $50, I'd fight my grandmother. Because he's starving, right? He's starving. He's desperate. He's frustrated. He gets in the fight, and he's so excited to earn $50. He's getting whooped on. But he's just thrilled to be there to earn $50 for a family. Win or lose, he's getting $50. And then he's kind of licking the blood up. He's like, this is fun. And then his left hand was always kind of the weak hand. His good right hand. Remember, he broke his right hand, what you think is tragedy. God uses that. His left hand became very strong from loading boxes. Now he had a good right and a good left. And he ends up going, wait a minute, I can beat this guy. Beats him, like whips him, boom, boom, made short order. His old boxing opponent goes, man, where you been? He goes, you fight like that, I'll give you another fight. He goes, done. He goes through documented. He goes through like 14 straight fights with no training, zero preparation, hadn't boxed in a year and a half, and whips 14 guys in a row. Gets all the way to the guy that put him in the hospital, almost killed him, the reason he lost his license originally, and he gets in the ring with this guy. By the third round, he's destroying the guy, absolutely, utterly annihilating the guy by the third round. And the guy in the third round goes back to his corner, and he says to his trainer, his trainer yells at him, he goes, man, what's the matter with you? What's the matter with you? He goes, last time you whipped this guy. You just destroyed him. And the boxer, the big, strong, strapping shoulders, bigger than this guy, Jimmy, sits down on his stool, leans back, looks at his trainer, puts his mouth guard out, and he goes, he ain't the same guy. And he goes on to just destroy this guy. Didn't kill him, but I mean, he beat him handedly, won the match. That qualified him for the heavyweight championship of the world. A guy named Max Baer, who had killed 2 people in the ring. Documented fight. It's now 1931. He gets in a fight with Max Baer. He's talking to all the people in the stands. They got all the news reporters, and they're taking pictures and they're flashing of him, and they're going, "Wow, this is so great! Your rise, just like 15-0. You're fighting for the heavyweight championship of the world. What the heck happened to you?" And everybody's looking, and one of the reporters says that, and he smiled and kind of nodded, and he goes, "I figured out what I'm fighting for. I figured out what I'm fighting for." And they'll go, whoa, their heads go down. James Broderick knows what he's fighting for. They're all taking notes. And then the same guy, while everyone's head's down, he pops back up. All the heads stay down. He goes, "What's that, Jimmy?" Right? The obvious question. And then everybody else looks up, and they're all ready. And he goes, "Milk. I'm fighting for milk." In other words, I'm fighting for the survival of my family. Let me tell you here today, if you don't realize that you are fighting for milk, that this is about your family, because your lack of being willing to face your fear and not call the expireds or not doing the open house gets uncomfortable or door knock or whatever it is you're not willing to do affects your family. Your kids, maybe you don't want them in public school, but you can't afford private school. Maybe the car you drove here sucks. Your family's in that same terrible car. Maybe you're renting a house or an apartment. You don't like it. You could change this. So guess what? He gets in that fight. He destroys Max Baer. It was a tough fight. He becomes the heavyweight champion of the world. He's the guy off the docks with no training that becomes the heavyweight champion of the world. A time when our country's facing the biggest market crash, way worse than we went through in 2008, 9, 10, 11, way worse. And he was the hero of the little guy. Heavyweight, they made a movie about him. His name was Cinderella Man. It's the name of that movie. Go home and watch it if you haven't seen it. So I want to send you out of here today with this simple question. Here's my question to you. Are you frustrated? Have you had enough? And here's the final question. Ready? What are you fighting for? God bless you. Have a great week. We'll see you guys later.